We're going live without him, I guess. Yay! We
He'll be
are
right
live.
back. He'll be right back.
I know. We are live. We're here with Double I. Yam just fell out before we went live. He'll be back in a few minutes or
They
seconds.
always come back.
Yeah, they always come back. But yeah, we're gonna let Lamb lead off. We're gonna talk about various topics pertaining to men and I guess relationships and stuff like that.
Yam's Kona.
Plus whatever Yam got to say. We're going to try to keep it efficient as possible so we can touch on so many more things instead of like trying to harp on one topic or two topics basically. So we're going to try to move it as long as much as humanly possible and as fast as humanly possible. Um, so that's my goal for this lovely live stream is to move it on, keep it moving as efficient as possible. But we're waiting for Yam to come back so we can actually let him start off with what he got to say, and then we're going to go from there for the most part.
The Psychesoap says, keep it moving. Yeah.
Keep it moving, right?
Keep going.
Keep it moving, right? Yeah.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep it going.
Right. I sent him a link too, so he may show up in the middle somewhere also as well. How you been, Double I?
Dropped in from the top. Dude, man, I'm just taking it day by day.
That's all you can do
day by
sometimes.
day.
That is all you can do sometimes.
You know, you get a lot of thoughts running through your head these times, you know.
True.
And one of the thoughts that you think about is shit, man. Well, there's a lot of people dying and everything like that, but what's going on? Like, what are we doing as humans to keep our lives enriched and better and not fall and succumb to I guess what's around us and constantly barraging us about the negativity of what's going on. I mean, don't ignore it or nothing like that. But if you're not out there in harm's way, which most of us are, so most of us it doesn't really pertain to.
Yeah.
But if you're not in harm's way, how are you carrying your life? If you are in harm's way, how are you carrying your life? And if you're, even if you're infected, how are you carrying your life? Or if you've recovered from it, how are you carrying? It's totally different. And I've said this in past live streams. The landscape has changed. So, this is a time, people, to take what you have, put your ducks in a row, so you can climb out of this in a better place than you were before you got into it. Like you can use a disaster to essentially catapult yourself out of it and into a better place, is what I'm saying. And I don't know, depending on what your subjects are, we might even touch on some of those. I would like to hear your guys' thoughts about what you're going to do to catapult yourself out of this, and you might have another idea. So,
what's up,
Garuda in the house.
Hey man, Garuda man, nice. I love your stream, man. Hey, you are the most hated man in the manosphere, man. I love your stream, man. That's my Garuda Ghost impersonation.
That almost that pretty much that sounded like him.
Yeah. If it wasn't for the high pitched squeaky voice, he might actually have nailed Garuda right there.
Yeah, he might have.
Yeah, I got to lower my voice a little bit.
There, that's a little better. That's a little better.
I did a good job the first time, but man, it didn't. I'm from the Netherlands.
Yeah, Garuda Ghost kind of sounds like a person from the Netherlands who grew up in New York.
Yeah. What are you talking about, man?
His cousin Vinny will come visit you.
Mm-hmm. I also worked with the guys.
Or his uncle. No, he's talking about some. Apparently, y'all two were in the live stream together on somebody else's live stream.
Yeah,
it's not you.
Little Nicky in the house. What up, buddy?
Yeah, I scoped Garuda Ghost in another live stream. Yeah, he was making some really good points. He was making.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about Garuda Ghost. He has a lot of good points, and that's what I like about Garuda Ghost.
Yeah. I really hope that I can actually talk to him, because in the live stream I was in with him, he kept getting like shut down basically, so he couldn't talk. But if I was ever in a live stream with him in the future, I'm sure we would have a good dialogue.
Yeah, we would. He's actually pretty good. He's actually he has a lot of chemistry, most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Let me in for a minute. A minute, really, dude? A minute. Okay. I'll get my daughter to handle that one.
Come on in, buddy. Come on in. And I think you should butcher Yam when you get in here.
Yeah, definitely.
For trying to
murder him.
For trying to do your murder the guy. Because I'm still waiting for MiGTOW to win to fire back at me for doing him. Oh man, MiGTOW to win's gonna kill him.
I don't know if he caught that, but there goes the link in there. My daughter Deshari just dropped it. Let me in for a minute. He's a chip for a minute.
Let me come in. I will show you what my voice actually sounds like, which is not Garuda Ghost at all. But that's just.
I worked with at a deli. My manager was from Sri Lanka, so he was like, "Hey man, when are you working today, man? Can you work a lunch shift for me, man, today?"
Finally showing up.
Kind of like Garuda Ghost, but it's like it's more. It's like you can tell it's more Central Asian.
I just got my truck out the shop, I had to get a couple hours of nap sleep before, because I got to get going at 9 at 2100.
Okay, so you
I
got
got a 10 o'clock pickup.
Well, let's go back to bed.
Yeah,
hey, I'm good. I've been napping.
Oh, you've been napping.
Yeah, I've been napping. And
wait, how you napping on the truck?
I'm gonna jump back in about 15. I have to decontaminate. I got this beer flu all over me from work, so I'll just jump right back in.
Wait, you got beer thrown at you?
I got beer flu thrown at me. Yeah.
Wow. Man, you're gonna have to talk about that when you get back. You just can't drop that and go.
Right?
Man. Yeah. I just found that my terminal.
I will be right back. I'll be right back.
I just found that one of the terminals has a shower. I'm like, I didn't know this. All the time I've been working here, and this place had a shower. Motherfucker.
Yeah. So before I don't know if you can hear me, Yam, but I hope you can. I have a body protection suit for painting. Like, if you want it, just let me know. I'll drop it off to you or something.
Garuda Ghost in the house. Sound okay. Garuda Ghost.
Garuda.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
How's it going, buddy?
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yep.
We can hear you.
Okay, good. Yeah, I don't have so much to say. I just want to say hello, because I just came from work, and for me right now it's 1 o'clock at night. So
yeah,
I just want to say hello. But if you guys want to ask me something, do your thing, man. I'm here for a couple of minutes.
Well, Yam ran away.
There's a couple things I want to say real quick. One is thank you, man. You're always in our live stream, and you're always in the chat and supporting and everything like that. I appreciate that. Thank you, man.
Yeah, you know what it is, Double Line. Like I really try to do my best to stay away from the internet as much as possible. Sometimes I'm not on the internet for 2 days or something. But let me tell you this way: I don't watch TV anymore. I don't listen music anymore. Right now, instead of that, I just watch YouTube, Red Pill, and MiGTOW content, and it really brings something positive into my life, And I want to give a shout out to everyone in the manosphere, but also in the MiGTOW community. The bigger channels, but also definitely the smaller channels, but because I couldn't do this without you guys. And For me, it doesn't matter if you have 100,000 subs or maybe 10. Just we gotta put all our personal stories together, you know, and like if you cannot relate with me, then maybe you can relate with Tico or with Double I or whoever, you know, and you know what it is, like there is a lot of beef in the manosphere and in the MiGTOW community, but we can look at the differences, but that doesn't help us. We must look at the similarities, and that's the only way how we can get one step closer to each other, and yeah, actually make this society working for everybody, also for women.
True.
Hey,
Facts. Very well said.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. So quiet now, man.
No, we were just listening to you. Yeah, we were listening to you because you said you
We
only
were
got.
listening to
You
you.
said you only got so many times, so we were listening.
I also got to feed my
Yeah,
dog.
yeah.
My dog's getting
Spread
Trying to
that
crazy.
maximize your
positivity,
time as
brother.
much as humanly possible.
Heck yeah.
Yeah,
It's it's always a gift to have the brothers coming through here
Oh,
and
definitely.
talking.
yeah, man.
Definitely.
Do you know it? Like you don't have to subscribe to my channel. You don't have to check out my content as long as you can feel the spirit of the Garuda ghost, man.
As long as you remember the name. Yeah.
You'll never forget
Yeah,
the name
man.
of Garuda Ghost.
Never forget. Never forget the name.
I'm a
Yeah.
Be
ghost,
the
bitch.
Garuda.
I'm a ghost.
Be
Be
one
the
with the
ghost.
Garuda. Be the ghost.
Yeah. Hey, but
Merge with
Tico,
the ghost.
I'm looking forward to our stream this Sunday, man.
Sunday noon. Yep.
Yeah.
Is that noon my time or noon your time? Is that noon
What'd you
US or
say?
noon? Is that noon US or is that noon your time?
I said to you about 12 o'clock p.m. That is for me that is
Oh, okay.
6
So
p.m. in the evening, and I
yeah, I'll
think
be in
around New York time. Yeah.
yeah, I'll be in
So
Cleveland. So yeah, that'll hold on. No, I won't be in Cleveland. I'll be in Florida. So yeah, okay.
yeah. But we're gonna have the discussion about should you teach red pill knowledge to your children? Yes or no, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that will gonna be an endless discussion. But
Yeah,
let's
definitely.
do this, man. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Same here. Can't wait, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, but guys,
Nice.
I'm gonna drink a couple of beers and then I'm going to sleep, man. I just wanted to say hello and thank you for
Yeah.
the support and have
Today's
a
topic will
have
one
a
of
good
today's
night,
topics
guys.
will actually
Hang
be
on,
a
Yam.
Have
One
one for
second,
me.
Yam.
oh
One
sorry.
second, Yam.
Sorry.
Have one for me.
Go ahead, Garuda.
Have one for me.
Yeah. So thanks,
Trying to make
guys.
them faster.
I'm ghosting out now. Peace.
All right.
10-4.
All right, brother.
And that was Garuda Ghost.
Dude, how does he do it, man? Gosh.
Who?
It's just so good. So good at living up to the name.
Right.
Garuda Ghost.
Listen to you, so good to live up to his name.
I live in the win.
10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% Roni, 50% fame, and 100% reason to remember the name.
Look, that's a lot of fucking
AJ,
math.
do you want in?
Yeah, today's topic will be lead into Sunday's Should You Teach Kids Red Pill? Today's topic is Should Stupid People Reproduce? That's
No. We had enough problem with stupid people.
I think that's a good
Wow.
preliminary topic because I think answering that question will actually solve a lot of the questions that come up upon asking the question, should you teach red pill in schools? It's like, who should be in the school, you know?
Well, I don't think you should teach it in school. I think it should be something that's taught outside school.
But
Because the message can be misconstrued by school if you let them do it, or it won't be taught at all.
Yeah. Well, school has kind of fallen victim to the disease of addressing the government's issues, things that the government can't do sufficiently, like math, science, economics, history.
True. Very true.
It basically puts the onus on the teachers and the institution to instruct kids to say, here, here's some problems that we need solved. How about you go and just solve them? And that's like difficult because whenever you have a society, you want people in that society who have the spirit of wanting to be educated to find their own problems, because when they find their own problems, they're much more productive at solving those problems. And I think that's part of what MiGTOW, the philosophy of MiGTOW is that men should be figuring out what it is that they want in life, and perhaps by seeking that, they will create a more efficient way of living that life, and then spread that knowledge to others in like a streamlined process.
Yeah.
Kind of like what's been missing in the family system or the family dynamic thus far in the 21st century.
You also got to take consideration too. There's a lot of people who actually don't want to teach nobody else anything else because they just want to be. They believe that they don't have to because they're MiGTOW for the most part. So you got a chunk of people who believe that they don't have to or shouldn't have to teach anybody nothing. So now you got this philosophy. You got a chunk of people that believe that they shouldn't have to pass on anything or teach anything for the most part, which really sucks. So now you're left with like a small amount of people who actually are teaching and preaching the philosophy, and you got a shit ton of red pills, but you got a small amount of MiGTOWs who actually are preaching the philosophy.
And then it's just basically it's a problem all around. Now, I don't think it should be taught. I mean, a lot of things were taught in school when growing up. I was taught sex education in school. They don't teach that no more. Now they have this, not the way I was taught. Now what they're pulling. I know.
Yeah, that's a cohort. Sorry, Double I was going to say that's like a cohort of the red pill. Is like you have the pre-sex education, not like red pill, and then you have the post-sex education red pill, and then you have like different cohorts learning the material at different points in time. Before
this shit is
the political, before like the Tea Party and the political side of the men's rights activists, you had a certain part of the red pill that was just PUA focused. Then when the men's rights activists came in, you had a different set of red pill practices for people trying to figure out what works for them as men. Then afterwards, after the Trump election, you have like the leftist or like the anti-leftist red pillars, people who are just like against the red or against the left. And then afterwards, you have now it's like the red pill feud against MiGTOW. That's like the new school of red pill. That's what they're learning the red pill in a different set under a different. They're learning the same material, but it's being taught by, it's like people are moving through graduating. So like every time this material cycles, it's a different environment in which the people are learning the red pill.
Yeah, let me tell you something here. This whole feuding between red pill and MiGTOW, what it's going to do. It's going. I mean, correct me if say your opinion if you feel that I'm wrong. What it's going to do, it's going to turn people away from red pill and MiGTOW. It's not. It really is in effect the feuding. This whole beef. Oh, he's MiGTOW. He's MiGTOW. He's red pill. He's not red pill. He's not MiGTOW. This, that, and the other. But what it is doing, feuding between red pill and MiGTOW, and MiGTOW and all the other in between. What it is doing is turning people away. It is causing people to walk away from red pill and MiGTOW altogether and do their own thing.
And then on top of that, another section that you're actually missing, Wind, is the feud in between them actually makes people join and want to take sides. Then they want to hate on one side or hate on the other side because that's when they came in to the whole entire feud, when they basically were hating each other for the most part. So now they believe that they're supposed to hate this group and this group's supposed to hate that group when they came in, and when it's not really the case.
Well, like I said, we all came from the red pill. We all had to go through the fucking journey to get where we're at right now. What people fail to realize. We had to go through red pill, right? I had to go through a red pill rage. I had to become red pill. Then I had to go to MiGTOW. You don't just jump straight. You have to. There's a certain process that you have to go through, both emotionally and mentally.
Yeah, something that I think is lacking now is the psychoanalytic part, where we analyze desire, like the desire of men, and we don't really pay attention to that anymore. And I'm talking as being still enrolled in the school, the Red Pill school. So I'm still a student of it. I'm not a person who is looking at it from the outside. So that's how I see myself as a we in this situation. It's more like we don't really have the part of where we analyze what we truly want. We kind of just go along with the system, like I was saying. When the government hands you a problem, i.e., failing birth rates, this, that, and the other, the economy being not so good, then you feel like in order to study the material, you need to be able to apply it to those problems. And what we have now is a bunch of people in the Red Pill community who are trying to solve the problems that, the media has pushed onto us. And it's causing us to want to attack people who have gone their own way about the subject matter. Like if you were to say, graduate with a degree in such and such and do a job that's completely different because you don't, necessarily want to apply that knowledge to that career. You just wanted to learn it,
right?
Like just to see what works for you.
But the thing is, we're not supposed to be solving the media's problems. We're not supposed to be solving the problem with the media. We're not. They fucked up. It's their problem. They solve it themselves. We're supposed to be going our own way. We're supposed to be living our best life. We're supposed to be learning what we can and cannot do as men. And what we learn, once we learn everything that we can do, we then go learn stuff that we couldn't learn. We're supposed to be bettering ourselves. We are students of Red Pill. We are students of Red Pill. Some of us are students of MiGTOW and Red Pill students.
I just want to say, spoken like a true veteran.
You are always a student of life. Whatever happens after life, you are that student. Okay, you're born. You're learning in life. Once you have learned enough in life to where you can continue to learn about life and then learn everything after it, then you learn that one. But you're always constantly learning. If the second you think that you have learned everything, it's the second you should probably just really reevaluate yourself. Because I'm always, there's some things that I do that I'm always constantly reevaluating my driving skills. I'm literally about when I go back home, I'm literally about to go back to my old school, my old driving school, and relearn how to shift. I mean, I know how to shift, but I always like to keep those skills sharp for if I ever have to go back to that, I'm not wobbling like a beginner. The thing is, like, the basics. The basics is what we have we were trying to shy away from, and shying away from that is going to screw you when you try to get back on that horse or get back on that bike. And it's like this feuding. We all try to say, oh, this person likes it. But
one basic that we shy away from right now in the Red Pill manosphere is the basic numero uno from Tom Likas days. It's that women like it when you treat them like shit.
True story.
We completely abandoned that in the Red Pill community today. It's all about men. What can men do to look smacks? What can men do to be more attractive? How can men market themselves properly? What's wrong with men that makes it so that they're unable to attract women? Like how do you have a crispy mouthpiece? All this stuff.
Crispy. What the fuck's crispy? Crispy. Explain crispy.
You know what, Tim? You hit the nail on the head. Say that one more time. And when you say that, I want you to describe it in a slightly different way, because what you just said is very important for people to understand. Please.
something that I feel is lacking in the red pill schools of today is a basic rule that you could even go as far back as the early 2000s with Lycus 101. And it's that women like it when men treat them like garbage, treat them badly, nag them, and make them feel like give them backhanded compliments. Do things that reduce their self-esteem. They love that. They don't like it when you're all nice and when you like look when you look good and you approach them. And that's what has happened, is that we no longer acknowledge that basic principle because we get uncomfortable with that. We get very much uneasy. We get stir crazy when we start to just acknowledge the fact that if you just ignore a woman, she's more likely to want you. And now it's all about who can say the right thing, who has the right looks maxing, being
and then flexing in the mirror, working out at the gym, trying to basically make yourself more available to women and shit like that, so they can actually fawn over you for the most part, which is some bullshit. Because I've never once did no bullshit like that. I'm an asshole. I'm an asshole from.
Is important because it's like, who wants to be desirable? In the eyes of men, women want to be desirable, right? But in the eyes of women, it's almost like a man shouldn't want to be desired because that's like it basically makes you a target for MeToo and a target for and a target for all of women and men's insecurities, like the government. You know, like when you are the desired target, everyone wants to project all of their thoughts onto you. What the ideal should be. You're the target for that because you're desired. You're visible.
Mm-hmm.
I try to make myself as invisible as possible.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's kind of the point. You want to make yourself as invisible as possible. And as far as like the people fighting, there's an old English adage: a hard head makes a soft ass.
Right.
So they'll have to learn the hard way eventually. It's just fact.
I got a hard head. I will admit, I got a hard head. You know.
Yeah, and it's a lot of us in the red pill community today. We turn our backs on women because we have we're building on the foundation of MiGTOW, from 2010 to 2013. We're on that foundation. So we show, because we allow women to get so close to us, close up to behind us, and we're not watching our backs constantly. It's essentially created a Sweet Padre has I think he coined the term the softening effect, where he talks about how from the very early days of domestication of animals and animal husbandry and stuff, women have had this desire to just everything they touch basically softens. And he uses the example of a Jeep Wrangler, but I think you can see it. You can see that with a lot of things in the commercial or in the culture in the culture that we have here in America. Just because the way advertising works and targets women, you can see the development, the evolution over the years. How every single thing that women have contributed money to has gradually softened and gradually lost its luster, its rugged individualism, and the whole searchers, the West Wild West, ruggedness.
Man,
like Paul Newman, Cary Grant, all of these actors all these actors were individuals, and they contracted their work out to Hollywood. And now that Hollywood is primarily the casting couch and the casting area is dominated by women, you notice that the men have become more soft faces, round romantic bone structure, a lot less classic, a lot less dramatic in the face, and more so have been casted as a place for women to cast their projections on like
So,
with
so
the
basically,
whole
what you're
design.
saying about the men in Hollywood now is less or
The little
freaking
girls.
Nas X.
Yeah.
They're basically
Yeah.
the girls.
Yeah,
They're
more
basically
rounded
women.
cheek,
Mhm.
rounded bulbous noses, kind
That's what I
of
said.
more of
Less
the
Marlon Brando, more Nas X.
yeah, I mean, and it's kind of, and that's why you see people on YouTube making the whole transgender thing. It's not that the people are like, and this is where I will actually like digress into like joking about it, because you can tell that our taste has been gradually shifted over time, because a lot of the people that we hold in power politically and socially with regards to the film and music and movie industry, they've changed to fit how we perceive success and perceive beauty. Now they look the way that Americans think. That's how celebrities have always represented themselves in terms
So
of what the
which
American people
confuses me.
desire.
Then why the fuck are there a lot of flops at the box office?
There's a lot of flops at the box office too. That's another thing. That's another data point that we need to analyze, because
How the fuck if this is how Americans think and we think, why the fuck are there so many flops at the box office?
Like I say all the time, nothing new under the sun. You can't just remake something and do a poor storyline to it and expect it to do well because of the fame and what it was before back in the day. If it's a cult classic, you got to actually put a storyline to it, a plot to it, and everything to it to make it a viable story. You can't just be remaking stories and just being like, well, it's the name, it'll get everybody to come in. No, you can't do that.
I could have made. Listen, if you really think about it, I could make the fucking Ghostbusters, the new Ghostbusters, work. It would evolve. It would evolve the roles of the old originals to be a little different, to be a little more different, and kind of mentoring.
Mm-hmm.
See,
the problem basically.
Hell, I could have made Charlie's Angels better.
The problem with that,
I could have made Charlie's Angels better than the original.
The problem with that, MiGTOW to win.
With the Charlie's Angels, like, so, okay, the older boss is a little older, so he might,
Here's what you're missing, MiGTOW to win. Here's what you're missing, bro. The problem with that is you are saying if you were to have made it. So here's the difference. You have that artistic value. The ones that are pushing this narrative don't have that artistic value. You see, they're just trying to push a narrative. What's more important to them is the narrative rather than the artistic value.
Well, I guess they suck dick.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess they suck. They suck eggs.
They sucked eggs. They sucked eggs in order to get to that position, and now they complained about the egg sucking, and it is what it is.
Yeah,
they're complaining about the egg sucking now because you're not getting as many roles now. That's the reason why they complain about the egg sucking, because you're not being looked to or fond after. But the sad part about that is you actually have skill. You don't have to worry about egg sucking. You can basically get in on the strength of your skills. But if you don't got skills, then you have to egg suck to get to where you want to go. It's just fact.
Yep.
And that's what a lot of them did. Like, if you notice, all the women who came out and complained about the casting couch are all women that you don't really see anymore in movies or shows and shit like that no more. It's just facts. Like, it was fat. It was fat for them to suck eggs the whole entire time while they were getting roles. But the minute they stopped getting roles, it's not okay no more. And I gotta put this person on blast. Now there's going to be less women in Hollywood now, because now there's going to be less women in Hollywood that actually have skills anymore.
Well, without any form of respect, all we have to rely on is violence and intimidation to accomplish what we to build relationships. So when you don't have respect, you rely on either intimidating someone with your status or communicating to them in a way that makes them feel like it's their fault, like when you see all of these people, Kendrick Lamar, Chance the Rapper, all of these people who got deals, like rapper deals in the 21st century, they all rap about, I'll never sell my soul and this, that, and the other, because that's what interpolates you when you're an artist and when you have not groupthink mentality is you better do this.
Well, the problem with Kendrick Lamar and the rest of them is they actually sold their soul already. They sold a small piece of it just to get to where they were.
I'm just talking about the lyrical content that their work rests on, because their work may be compromised, but the aesthetic idea points back to like Melly Mel, Grandmaster Flash, and the message.
Roni Montana, really? Roni Montana, really?
Come on.
That's you going with Roni
You
Montana.
want to buy masks? Let's buy masks.
You don't want
Say hello
You have to get
to
the
my
money.
hand sanitizer.
Say hello to my hand sanitizer.
Roni Montana.
another smash. You call me in the morning.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Classic.
Yeah.
And I think that's like part of depression and NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, is the need to build relationships without the skill to do so. That vital skill that's lacking in the red pill schools, which is strange, because we always talk in that cohort of the men's rights activists. We always say facts don't care about your feelings. Shout out Ben Shapiro, shout out Milo Yiannopoulos, shout out all of those people. Who are basically labeled alt-righters. But we really lost a lot of that part of feelings that unite brothers together in public forum. And what happened was we were so close to actually forming a tightly knit community, and then infiltrators never hurt us before a certain point, but then whatever happened, it's all about facts. I'm bringing facts, science, and like there's no relating. So when someone comes on and they have genuine problems and they have genuine issues relating to people, all that you have to give to them is facts.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't help them in the slightest. We need to be there for our brothers mentally, spiritually, and scientifically.
Well, the problem with that, Yam, the problem with the whole entire facts thing is, like I would say all the time, like it's not basically with facts, as far as facts are concerned, everybody likes the truth until it's about them, because then now they have to focus on themselves and actually improve themselves and better themselves. Unfortunately, a lot of times the truth hits so close to home, instead of actually trying to internalize it, make it better, or change yourself, people try to attack or lash out for the most part when the truth is actually told about them. They just lash out instead of actually internalizing it and trying to fix it. And that's the sucky part. Like a lot of men have gotten away from the whole entire fixing shit and within themselves, and instead they basically just lash out instead of internalizing it, making it work and mulling it over their head and trying to figure out how to fix it.
There's a
aim at and miss in this society.
There's a trait in the military that you you're constantly doing. Know yourself and seek self-improvement. Be tactically and technically profound. Now, when it comes to computer chips, when it comes to mechanized things with gears and stuff, I am technically sound. When it comes to computer chips, I am behind the curve. The thing is, you have to know, when you know yourself and you seek self-improvement, you give the people who grasp on, your goal is to give them as little as possible of a truth to latch onto. If you give them minor detail, if you basically give things you've overlooked, work on that. From when I became an adult, I was always planning. I learned that I had to plan within the next couple of years of life. Like my dad was sick, I couldn't join the military. I had to look after my dad.
Mm-hmm.
When he died, After I moved on, which was a little less than a year, I joined the Marine Corps, and I learned know yourself, seek self-improvement. I've been doing that. I've been doing that for a while. Doing that for a long time. But get working little side hustles to get clothes to make sure that my dad didn't have to worry too much. You know, all I had to do was just a lot enough money for gas for the truck and the lawnmower equipment and the maintenance. That's all I had to do. Other than that, I just basically got clothes. I just basically bought myself some clothes, some these pair of clothes, these pair of pants, these pair of shoes. I was always on the hustle. Once he died, I planned that I was going to join the Marine Corps. I signed up for that 4-year contract. After I got out, I saw that I probably should find some way to supplement and have some sort of backstop if I end up in and out of employment. And sure enough, I had a backstop. I was in the National Guard. I asked for extra drill. Now, does my plan always fall through? No. It might have to be extended out. But I'm always trying to find ways to seek self-improvement. Like, for most people having a conversation with me, most people would never know that I'm autistic. Most people, unless they're trained, would never know that I was autistic. I literally had to struggle the majority of my life because I was diagnosed before they had any inkling of what it is. So now these kids growing up nowadays, now they have all this technology, all these resources.
Yeah.
All these computerized, all these teachers, all these life coaches that I did not have growing up. I had to work this by myself or with help with family.
Yeah. Sometimes I often wonder. Sometimes I often wonder if a lot of the children growing up today don't suffer from autism. This is why they're easily impressed upon where parents could do stupid shit like, take them to stuff that our parents wouldn't take us to, like, readings and, the stuff like that. And like, have like, some off the wall shit at birthday parties, like, drag strippers and, stuff like that. Like our parents wouldn't let us do no shit like that. Like our parents wouldn't even think to do no shit like that growing up.
People my age, they probably did. And they were easily led. And what the thing with autism is you're easily led.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm actually talking about. Because I'm often wonder if a lot of the children nowadays don't suffer from autism. Like more of the children, like how they say the statistics for autism now. I start to wonder if that's not a lot higher than what they claim it is for the most part with a lot of these children.
It probably is. I mean, look at the people my age. Look at the people around my age. They're having kids. They had kids. What if the people my age that believe this that believe this alphabet soup?
What have they been doing with their lives in order to
having kids? But you also got to take consideration too, MiGTOW and the Wind. There's two groups that fall into that category. You got the latchkey kids and you have the millennials for the most part. And like we're talking about it, like a lot of the people who fall under a lot of people who think they fall under the millennials actually fall under the latchkey kids, and a lot of the people who fall under that think they're a latchkey kid actually are millennials for the most part, and actually discussed how that actually is differ based on how you were raised, or for the most part. If you had a helicopter parent, unfortunately, you're not a latchkey kid. If you had helicopter parents, I'm sorry to say it, but no, because latchkey kids literally came home and did everything by their fucking self. So. Their parents didn't have time for bullshit, basically. This extra added bullshit that be added into their lives. Whereas, like, at the same time that there was latchkey kids, there was also millennials coming up, too.
Like, for me, I've always had enough.
That's how you get, like, the people. Like, that's how you get the people in your age group. Because, like, technically, in all technicality, the latchkey kids and the millennials actually overlap each other. But it's all based on how you were raised and how you grew up. And the household that you grew up in, for the most part.
Yeah, I've always had enough.
So like, there's a lot of people in our age group that actually were raised, even older than me, who were actually raised like these millennials for the most part.
Yeah,
there are there's people in their 40s that were raised like millennials.
It's like the Graduate with Dustin Hoffman. That's what the millennial mindset is. It's being trapped underwater with no way to actually express masculinity, like rugged masculinity, the way that it ought to be, because you can't fall anywhere. All of your life is on a track, a Tico Tren track.
Basically, whatever.
But
it's basically to describe that to you the best way. There's a curve for that for millennials and millennials and latchkey kids. Just like there's a learning curve, there's a curve for that also. Because there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of people that think they're millennials because they grew up in this era because it says online. But if they were latchkey kids, they would realize that they're not millennials. If you play dodgeball, you're not a millennial.
I love dodgeball.
I have a friend of mine who's like a latchkey kid, but he's not red pilled. But the thing is like, I've always wanted to tell him red pill stuff, but it's like I know I can't. He lives in a different place. So it's like, what I noticed is that a lot of people, and that reminds him, I'm gonna actually share this YouTube video with him so he can follow along. But what I noticed is that the people ask him, what are you gonna do with this? What do you? He's trained too. He's like an architect, and where are you going? What's your future gonna be like? Where are you thinking about doing with this, that? And it's like, even millennials have this helicopter mentality with regards to latchkey kids because they're not used to the kind of individualism that we exhibit. And I told him, I said, just don't tell them any of your plans.
Yeah.
Don't tell them what you're going to do.
What they'll basically do, the thing about millennials I notice is never tell a millennial what you got going on or what you got planned, because they'll take your idea and run with it first for the most part. Yeah. Because they're not going to ever do something their fucking selves. They're more likely to borrow your idea and run with that shit. It's kind of like the lady. It's kind of like how I met the one lady who actually came up with the slanket. Well, millennial ran away with that shit, and now she doesn't got the slanket, and the millennial got the slanket. It's just shit like that because she actually told the idiot, and I know the idiot who actually came up with it. And it's like, you should have kept that to yourself. Like, never share your ideas, because there's that millennial that'll take your idea, run with it, patent it first, and now you can't use the idea because they're making the money off the idea.
Right. Now, like the difference between
that's what we have now. Is in the government says, give us everything that you got. They essentially shake the millennials down for their intellectual property, and then they try to play it off.
Then the sad part about that is the millennials aren't the ones who are actually coming up with this intellectual property.
No,
Somebody else is coming up with intellectual property.
I'm talking about the latchkey kids. Well, I'm talking about the latchkey kids, but the millennials are an arm of the government because, like I said, they don't know respect. They only know violence and intimidation because that's what their parents use to get them to fall in line with their little roller coaster ride of a life that they've set up for them.
Right. But let's say the difference between, I was always given enough rope to hang myself, like I said, okay, go out, do what you got to do. I was always told to go outside, and the things that when I look back at the things that when I was outside, the things that I would do, like climb trees, like after a while, you get good at climbing trees to where you're almost fearless, where you can actually literally judge a branch and have at least another branch to catch you if that judgment is wrong, where you can literally just run across the tree limbs and just
or get lost in a city, lost in an urban area.
Yeah, or get in and out of an urban area before anybody knew you were there. It's like you could actually literally disappear into a crowd wearing bright pants, things like a boat on the sweatpants.
That's how you get people that quote crime statistics and actually believe them, or quote, and the people who are conservative now, who the only thing that defines them as conservative is just their mentality, their mindset. But in every other way, they're not actual conservatives because they haven't had to conserve their identity. Their identity has been given to them by the left. Like the left says, you're an alt-righter, and then they're like, oh, you call me a slut long enough, I eventually become this thing that you call me. That's what the conservative party is now, or conservative not party, but the conservative political establishment. And it's like that window just keeps getting moved further and further and further to the left. And we don't make any progress building any sort of community surrounding it. And so it's like, have fun, man. That's if that's what you think that you are, that's great. But it wasn't your thought to begin with. You were basically told.
If you put a millennial in an urban setting, that I grew up in today, with the same regulations back then, second a millennial were to go into that urban setting, he would never get out. He would never get out.
Actually, no, they actually do get out, but they never grow up. They become that person that they were when they went in, and they stay that way the rest of their life.
What I'm saying is, like, where I grew up in a gang area. I grew up in a gang area. They would either A, get stomped into a gang,
yep,
or B, get stomped.
Yeah. The thing about it is, like, the thing that makes it so crazy about these kids nowadays is a lot of the stuff that we went through growing up, they would never be able to make it for the most part. It's kind of like how the old heads used to say, a lot of the gangs, if you was to drop you off in LA with the real Crips and Bloods, y'all asses wouldn't make it.
I know I wouldn't make it.
Like, it's just that.
I'm under no delusion that I'd make it. I would get in there. I would get I would probably maybe get either halfway in before somebody knew, or halfway out before somebody knew I was there.
The thing about it is, I've always walked through gang-infested neighborhoods, and it never really bothered me. And it's basically the life that I grew up in for the most part, because like I said, I grew up in Central America, so like the shit that I see in Central America. So it's one of those things, huh?
Right, like you grew up in Central America. That place. I mean, certain parts of that area are gang areas.
Yeah, certain parts of them aren't gang areas, but they still have the trappings of a gang area for the most part. Hell, you can be in the best neighborhood there, but there's still like gang elements. Like you'll see like limbs hanging from something, or you'll see like an arm and a torso hanging from something, or like you'll see like a leg and maybe one leg and half of the pelvis area hanging from something. Either way, there's always the trappings that that you're in imminent danger for the most part.
Right.
Like a two-piece leg and thigh.
Literally, you'll see that shit in Central America or Mexico. It's like that shit is really real.
And then when you have this,
Wind. I forgot to do my ritual. My live stream ritual, Tico.
What?
Hey, Wind.
Hi, Cartel
Tell the Cartel Princess I said hi.
Hi, friend.
But another thing that we have to consider.
Hi, Cartel Princess.
Yeah. I know why you might want to chill out, because I'm already
He's already getting fallout. That's hilarious.
Look,
He's already getting fallout.
So look, check it out, Wind.
Hey, Wind.
Check out this picture.
MiGTOW in the Wind is a victim of sexual assault.
You see those bikes in that shot?
Yeah, I can barely. I see something.
Yeah, I'm on a roof, fully armed.
You got a firearm? Hey,
I'm on a roof in LA, fully armed, in Gardena, when I took that shot.
Nice.
As far as the blood, Crips and the Bloods, the ones you're talking about, I'm not going to identify which it may have been. Maybe it was something else, but I'm just saying.
I'm from the West Coast. I'm from the East Coast.
That's a legitimate shot right there. I just want to let you know.
Yeah.
Heads up. That was about 2 years ago.
Wow.
And I mean, I'm definitely an armchair psychologist when I say this. The campuses and universities now are inoculating students with the thought that, especially female students, are in imminent danger whenever they are walking or socializing or fraternizing in the dorm rooms and in the off-campus apartments and houses, that 1 in every 4 of them will be raped, and that they are approaching a world of automation that's going to chew them up and spit them out. And there's all of this danger communication, but there's no actual perceived danger in their lives. So that's how the people can believe something as asinine as stealthing, which is when 2 people are having sex and one person takes a condom off, man or woman, and that's people are advocating for that to be legally reprehensible. For people to be legally reprehensible for something like a sexual act like that.
Yeah, but the problem with that act is that's a slippery slope, as they refer to it in legal terms. Because if that's the case, a woman who actually sperm jacks is technically doing the same fucking thing.
And no one will acknowledge this because
my point exactly.
That is what the lack of imminent danger and the lack of, a space for masculinity has done, is it's softened our language and it's softened the perception of danger, to the point where we can't have films at the box office that have any sort of real not even, they can have violence, but there cannot be any stakes, because like a basic rule of storytelling is you have to gradually raise the stakes. And that's something that just makes people uncomfortable, because, what if, the female character doesn't get what they want? At every turn and in every panel of the storyboard, a woman needs to be getting validated, whether it be by the black supporting male character, whether it be by the white male lead character, whether it be by the the story arc in the movie, propping all the women in the camera or in the movie up in one frame of the movie. Like, they need to get every single woman in the shot. Like, all of these techniques are all to market the idea that despite this imminent threat, this imminent danger, that somehow women are going to come out on top. But what it really does is it just softens things.
Well, like they pulled that bullshit at the end, near the end of Endgame, Avengers.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about. I knew what he's talking about.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
that type of bullshit.
The sad part about that is I actually made a video about this. I don't know if it got uploaded yet. I can't remember. But I made a video about the women on the left basically bring on their own. Like, the reason why rape culture actually exists is because women,
they hang around rapists.
They hang around rapists, or they hang around men who actually pretend to be what's it called, SJWs or further cause for the most part. But yes, mainly the men around that they're hanging with, or that's fighting for their quote unquote cause, are frustrated men basically trying to do everything in their power to get a girl to like them, because it's basically like the girl that basically will come into your. It's basically like a girl that will come into your craft or what you do basically and try to learn it so she can actually be in front of you to get you to like them for the most part. Men are literally doing this shit. Like, they're literally fighting for a cause just for a chance to actually be with a woman fighting for that cause for the most part. This is how simpish men are.
MiGTOW is the perfect example. You see all of these victims and the real victims, you compare the two, but the ones that do get caught up in that bullshit are those very same guys that were supplicating, that were fucking being sycophants basically for female validation. And then at the other end of it is fucking attention whores. But all of that shit is dying now. You want to know why? That rowdy boy.
Well, and the sad part about that is what I'm trying to go with this is women actually bring on their own imminent demise. And the sad part about that, you can't say that about women because, like, it's victim shaming. No, it's not victim shaming. If you're being stupid, if you do stupid shit, you're going to win stupid prizes. That's just facts. Like, you can't go, like, I can't go out here I can't go to the middle of the country in the middle of a KKK rally and expect not to be fucked with. It's just facts. Like if I put myself in that situation, I know that stupid shit's going to happen to my black ass. It's just facts. So you can't tell me it's victim shaming because I put myself in a situation and then they fucked with me and I got repercussions and consequences. It's not victim shaming the least bit. I deserved every bit of that shit. It's just fact. I mean, granted, it's wrong, but it's still facts. I still put myself in a situation for me to be wrong when I could have not, when I could have logically thought about it and said, well, maybe that's not a great idea to do that. And the sad part about that is, in this day and age, what I notice in Americas and the Western world is they relieve women of so much responsibility and all this shit. So now women feel entitled that they can do stupid shit and they shouldn't be shamed by it. When in fact, like, look, because I witnessed some shit in downtown Pittsburgh like not too long ago, where a woman actually was doing some shit at night. I matter of fact, I had a video about it where a woman was like, there's a woman that actually I used to pass by in the daytime, wouldn't say anything to me, act like I'm dangerous. The minute this bitch is out at night in a skimpy ass outfit and a dress, all of a sudden now she wants to talk to me and hit on me and flirt with me. Well, what I left out of that story is that woman was actually assaulted up the street a lot further from me, and I did nothing to it, because I look at it like this: if you're going to treat me like a criminal, I'm gonna need you to keep the same energy when you get into trouble. And that's just fucking facts. If you're gonna treat me as such, I'm gonna need you to keep the same energy when you get into trouble, because I'm not saving you. I'm not no white knight in the least bit. So you gotta suffer the consequences for what you put me through.
Right. I actually left that part of the leftist dangerous male out of my analysis, because it's part of being in this red pill seminar. Going. The
sad part about that, the men on the left are the most dangerous men in the fucking world. The men on the left are more dangerous than the men on the right. Or the men on the left, period, are more dangerous than any other group of men in this world. And the sad part about this, it's kind of like how I say about there's 10%. It's kind of like how I say there's 10% of the population that does some sick, vile shit to people. All those motherfuckers are on the left. Well, most of those motherfuckers are on the left. And the sad part about that, and the sad part about that, that 10% actually jumped to about like anywhere between 12 and 15% now because of all this movements and all this shit. And like once you start getting big, you start needing more people, so more men, more sick, sad men will come and join that group. And the sad part about that is it's the left who actually breeds these men who actually do this stupid shit. It's the single mothers who breed these men who do this stupid shit. So you can't tell me that all men are dangerous when in fact you're hanging with the wrong group of men. All the men in your party are dangerous. It's just facts. There might be one or two on the right that might be dangerous, but all the men in your party are dangerous. They do some stupid shit, and then when they get into some shit, because it's the left, you got to protect the left, and they're on the left, and they fight for the left. Now you got to defend them, but you want to put down like Donald Trump for saying something like grab him out of pussy. Like, really, dude? Really? But you got this dude literally grabbing a woman by the pussy, but you're jumping to his aid now? Like, are you fucking serious?
Well, so this guy, his name was Walter Benjamin. He died in 1940. About 5 years before he died, he wrote this thing called The Work of Art in the Age of Mechanical Reproduction. And he talks about communism and fascism, and you can argue which one is worse than the other, but I think he would agree with you in that fascism is bad insofar as it's a very aesthetic mentality that has like very dangerous repercussions. But what communism lacks is like that aesthetic idea that ties itself down to the ground. And then you have people on the left who get so big-headed because they can reproduce these ideas that fascism that sometimes are ingrained in fascism, but they have it in such like a radical way of expressing it without any sort of self-awareness that they're capable of doing very, very just like vile things, because in this day and age, we don't have anything that grounds our art. So our art basically just is so easy just just for anybody to be in that position of power, because that's what going to the cinema does. It just like lifts you up from like this human being who knows nothing to now you're living somebody else's like life, like in the Star Wars movie, like you're going to different planets, you're experiencing different things, and it's all it's like the church, because in the movie theater you suspend your disbelief. You start to believe what's happening on the screen, much like how you are when you're in church. And the way that the communism is so insidious, because it leaks its way into the very fabric of what the person who's watching the movie or whatever who's partaking in the art is consuming, and it festers in there, and it just like creates this like pocket of rotten ideas that then it just builds resentment in a person, and that's how they're able to like think that their words are just so golden, and then in fact they're basically setting themselves up to be abused or to be assaulted or to be violated, because they don't have any sort of foundation underneath them. They're just walking around la 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 la, but in the daytime, oh, we're in such danger, but during the night they run wild with everybody else, and they're just like they're kind of like they want that danger to actually take advantage of them. Like,
and the sad part about that is like you make them more complicated than they need to be. But the thing about that is like I was saying with the woman, she I'm dangerous in the daytime, but at night apparently I'm safe. Like, was that the alcohol talking? And the sad part about that is you're right. Women do this shit in broad daylight when it's perfectly fine and everybody's eyes are on you. You want to act like you're this demure, you can't do nothing wrong and everything is dangerous around me person. But at nighttime, you want to go out and have fun and you want to throw caution to the wind. And all of a sudden, we're supposed to relieve you of your responsibilities as you being a human being, which makes no fucking sense to me. Because the sad part about that is, despite the fact that this shit may happen in Latin America, women know to actually leave in groups, come back home in groups, and women don't usually go home by themselves unless there's somebody watching them or watching over them while they're doing it for the most part, or somebody might drop them off. And the sad part about that, there are women who tend to think that they're all great and powerful, but those tend to be the women that end up in the fucked up situations, which is fact.
I'm the youngest one of 2 speakers on a panel of 4, which is why I'm overcomplicating it. But I'm also in the Red Pill seminar too. So this is just I'm just regurgitating the subject matter, basically. Yeah, this is what we're all taught to believe.
Yeah.
And this is what and we have the failing Hollywood movieplex as a example to learn from. Yeah. Basically is what I'm trying to get across. Is that
the sad part about that is it's not even a movie. It's not even, you can't even blame the movies, because at the same time they've been trying to pull that shit in America for the longest time. The reason why there's all these shooters or people are committing crimes is because these video games and these movies, they're too violent. They've been doing this shit all their fucking lives in America.
That
so like this ain't nothing new. This is nothing new.
Argument when that happened, if you remember that far, and it was a lot happening in the 90s. As far as Mortal Kombat being out, 2 Live Crew being out, NWA being out, and even Tupac's first album, or fucking
the sad part about that,
and his body count deal.
Yeah, but the sad part about that, though, that violence was going on before all those video games even came out.
Absolutely.
Well, it was good.
That violence been going on since
actually
the late
healthy
80s,
for the American
90s.
psyche, because it was violence that wasn't being perpetrated by a super attractive, hand-picked actor. These NWA, Tupac, they were rugged. They were kind of ugly. they were like not the most demure.
But the sad part about that, though,
American culture, though.
The sad part about that, though, even though they were rugged and ugly, they pretty much got bitches. They all got bitches. They had white bitches and they had black bitches swooning over them. It's just facts. And they weren't the most attractive in the world. And matter of fact, I have a video coming out on that. The difference between Pookie and Ray Ray. Pookie and Ray Ray and
he kind of had like a
Pookie and Ray Ray and
pretty boy kind of look.
He kind of had Tupac also wasn't gangster either though. But yeah,
he wasn't. But yeah, he tied the bandana.
Gangster.
He had
so much he started off as an activist and then fell in line with a lot of the
he's a studio
gangsters and crooks.
He was
he was born an
more
activist.
like by public opinion
into
that
gangster. Black Panther member.
Well, think about it.
He was an actor.
Let's just put it this way. Let's end that argument at 2:00 now. How many niggas you know that from the hood who gang bang and sling drugs went to Juilliard?
Not very many. You're right.
My point exactly.
I agree.
I didn't even go to Juilliard. Let's just keep it 100. So he ain't no gangster.
I absolutely agree. Yeah.
Like,
I absolutely agree. I mean, coming from a music school, there's the black kids that went to my music school, they still tried to act gangster, and I was like, come on.
And the sad part about Juilliard, you literally had to pay for that shit. It wasn't some shit that was free. You literally had to pay for that shit. That shit cost an arm and a leg. Yeah. Just like
Learning
Cardinal
music
Spellman.
is very expensive.
Like especially like Cardinal Spellman. If you ever went to Cardinal Spellman, like back in the day when I was growing up, it was cheaper, but it was still a lot of fucking money comparative to like money today for the most part. And it's still expensive as hell. So like for you to actually act gangster and go to Cardinal Spellman don't make no fucking sense to me.
Yeah. But some are adjacent to different elements in that community. I guess that's what happened in that situation. But what I wanted to bring up too, while we were when the conversation first started, when I first got in, was I'm looking at two generations. I'm in between two of them. The ones in front of me are what we'd like to call millennials. The ones behind me are the ones that we'd like to call boomers. Okay, let's take the boomers for example. They've had what is called a counterculture, which was motivated by a lot of what the left is about. And we see a lot of the people in this generation in front of me try to emulate that, but they don't have that counterculture. You know what's a counterculture? Us. We are the very counterculture there is now. Because we're the ones getting banned for shit that we say. We're not the ones that are totally accepted everywhere. And Hollywood tried to pull the same shit that they pulled 50 years ago in the 60s. Like, that they're this, badass, save them all, civil rights type of a person.
Can do no wrong.
It's not going to work this time because we're in a different time. You dig? And, a lot of these,
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's far from being perfect, but it's far from what it used to be. Don't get me wrong. There are some elements of it now that is worse than what it used to be. But at the same time, people have a lot more rights. But it's kind of like women today kind of remind me of African Americans today.
Like women, it's the same. It's the same.
Here's the thing about it that I noticed with women and African Americans, because like African Americans do this shit too. Women of today kind of remind me of the African Americans of today. It's kind of like how I say when I'm in America, I don't drive a nice car in America because I know that shit happens and I can get pulled over for just the DWB on principle. So why drive an expensive car? If you know that this shit can happen to you, then why perpetuate this shit happening to you? Do you want to be a victim? Do you want to always be portrayed as a victim? Or do you want to bring yourself up by the bootstraps and actually not be portrayed as a victim? Because the sad part about that is a lot of black people do this shit, especially men do this shit, and then they want to bitch and complain and this, that, and the other, and then they wonder why, niggas is getting shot like hotcakes on CNN and shit. Like, look, dude, you can't do something. You can't put yourself in a situation. You can't complain about stereotypes. Put yourself in as a stereotype, then turn around and act like, well, I didn't do anything like that. I should be able to dress the way I want. No, look, nigga. You work in accounting, bitch.
That's what they do.
You not to act like you're gangster. You work in fucking accounting.
They let women and black men and black people, African Americans, they let women and African Americans ride the fence all throughout their matriculation. They never make them have to pick a side. They let them ride the fence all the way down. You can be in the private school, you can act gangster, you can be left, you can be in a traditional relationship and still be liberal.
No, you can't be African American and be a right winger because you know what you get called, right?
Yeah.
Roni Montana.
No, worse than that, man.
Yeah.
You call a coon.
And it starts off with Uncle, and he ain't even the bad guy in that damn story.
You get called a coon, or you get called a townhouse nigga.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, and that's because they want what they can't. I mean, they want what's inside. Like you say what you want, but it's like they want African Americans and women to like them, basically. Like they want validation from women and from African Americans, and from anybody that falls under that protected class that's gradually moved in, like gay people. LGBT. You could go on the list of people who have become more visible as a result of the Civil Rights Act, but it's always been pandering ever since the Civil Rights Act. It's always
the sad part about that is black people, like Yam said, black people never had to pick a side. They basically got the straddle the fence the whole entire time and be treated with kid gloves for the most part.
Kid gloves, so then they never grow up. They get let into the gang community and then they get taken right out. And they don't actually learn.
And I will admit that was the fault.
And the sad part about that is before the 60s and 50s, black people actually had it pretty good. They actually had their own communities. They pretty much raised their children like they had some sense.
They were really conservative, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, they were very conservative.
The last Republican a lot of them voted for was Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Yeah, and the sad part about that is then as it transitioned on, eventually it transitioned where they actually flopped.
Yeah, that's why True Sherm hates women. That's why True Sherm hates black women that talk like, hey, what's going on? I don't like that. That's why True Sherm hates it, because it's like it's literally an exact copy of the gang, or of like that bad part of the culture. But then meanwhile they're in a film, or like they're in some some high status occupation, Yeah, exactly. That's what it is.
I got a question. They're playing a role.
They're all actors.
Just
like Tupac was an actor.
Yep.
Yeah, I have a question. Now, in my head, like I said, if I'm in a scenario, I'll put this in a scenario. If there's a group of women that is walking, if I'm walking in a direction and a group of women are walking toward my direction, and I cross the street. Yeah, I cross the street. Am I ahead of the curve?
You're simple.
Yeah.
You're ahead of the curb, but not the curve.
Well, I'm ahead of the curve. I crossed the street before they did, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, that's like Norwegian level social distancing. That's right. That's what I like to call that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel bad.
Like the plague. I remember the shit. What happened to the wall of silence, man? I'm gonna bring that shit back. Fuck that.
There's no wall of silence anymore. There's no avoid them at all costs. Avoid them at all costs. Don't even let them get the chance to imagine it. Cross the diagonal street.
Nowadays, I won't even help a woman unless she's clearly Muslim.
Wow.
Like
savage.
Clearly.
Like I won't help a woman. I won't help a woman. I won't help a woman unless she's clearly related or clearly a best friend.
Well, okay. Okay.
Probably not.
But I just mean because nowadays you can't, with all the face mask and coverings and stuff, you can't really be sure. But that goes without saying. If the hair's covered, I will be more gentle. But it's only that's you earn some points. You don't lose if you start out lower. Then if you lose those points, you're back to where everybody else is. But if the head is covered,
you're starting to sound like me now, Yam.
I'm saying is if the head's covered, then it's like, okay, now we're getting somewhere.
Right.
AJ in the house.
Yo, what's good, guys? What up?
Hey, what's happening, man? Hey,
AJ,
you better quit doing your hair in the motherfucking camera.
Yeah, you always doing his hair in the camera. Stop playing.
I'm going live, motherfucker.
AJ, mucho gusto. No, don't listen to Psychesoap. Don't go to bed. Don't go to bed.
AJ, we're trying to be sexy. You trying to go live and shit. Like, come on now, AJ. Can't let you compete with that shit. Come on now, man. It's always trying to bring sexy back. I'm always trying to bring sexy back on this bitch. I can't compete with that shit.
Yeah, trying to be all cut them up with it. Nah.
AJ is sitting there fighting them off with a baseball bat in New York City. Shit, man.
No,
Did you see that live stream?
Tell me you're not live in
the struggle is real out there. The struggle is
yes,
real.
It is. The struggle is real, AJ.
It's the epicenter.
How bad is it? Because if my company sends me up there, I want to know how bad is it is.
Right now, it's super quiet in New York City. It's very, very quiet. Like, it feels like The Walking Dead, the city that sleeps now.
Oh, damn. Not bad.
You gotta, you know what, Wind? Check out when you get a chance. Look at the live stream of YouTube of Times Square.
Gone.
Yeah.
That should give you an idea of.
The funny thing about it is, I was watching it. There was a homeless lady with a shopping buggy going across it.
Yeah.
Then a white van pulls up with the title FEMA, and then like she's a person in the van.
Oh, and she just disappeared.
Picture. Yeah, they took the cat lady. Fuck.
Am I gonna start driving? Have to start driving with a gas mask on?
Yeah, gas mask shit to protect the whole you. Yeah, Ronnie and motivate. I got a show to do. I ain't catching shit for nothing. No. Fuck that.
I mean, I've got M67 gas mask training.
Gas. NBC.
Gas.
Gotta get it on in 5 seconds.
Everybody is walking around with a bandana, or I've seen the eye covers for sleeping. People put that on their mouth. Like they don't even care anymore.
That's ghetto.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it is.
It's like an old lady walking around with like a sleep mask on her face, on her mouth.
Wow.
You better buy you one.
Shit.
They can't. They're all gone. They're all being hoarded.
What's wrong with you?
Get some gas masks and about 4 or 5 charcoal canisters.
Yeah.
You know the best way.
Gonna stop no Ronnie. Damn it.
You know the best way to get a gas or one of those face masks nowadays. Like you can't find any good material anywhere in the stores or anything like that, right? So you can't order anything from Amazon or anything like that. But us as MiGTOW, we can think differently. All we have to do is go over to one of these, Instagram thoughts that sell their panties and be like, look, I just need a pair of your panties. Don't wear them. Please do not wear them. You ugly fat whore. Just send them to me. And there you go.
What the fuck?
Good fabric too.
I'm kidding, Psychesoap. I would never do that. Calm down. I already have my N91, the 95, whatever they are.
Well, I mean, the phenomena that I've witnessed is like MiGTOW have gone more minimalist, and hoarders are now being praised. So it's like the feedback that they're getting is hoarding is good. Don't be ready to let go of anything.
That hoarding shit, is the reason why they can never have communism, because that goes to show you how selfish motherfuckers are. You can't be hoarding and be selfish at the same fucking time. It doesn't work.
Well, okay, that's
communism never works.
No, because the thing is, communists aren't coming after me because I have nothing to.
No, it's fine.
They're going after the hoarders.
Yeah, I know. The problem is though, like I said, this is the reason why America can't have communism, because we have too many fucking selfish people. To be a communist,
right.
Are you sure about that, Tico?
Well,
are you sure about
selfish people towing the party line, and that's what communism is.
This is the very reason why it's failed in other countries, because people are selfish. Nobody actually thinks of the other man. People are fucking selfish for the most part.
Right?
Yeah, they are. But look what's happening.
Doesn't work. This is the very reason why communism always falls apart in other countries, because everybody's
like it's open wing.
Now the thing is, like, look, I mean, we're living prime examples of what Tico said,
Yeah, like you can't be communist, and you can't be a communist and then be a hoarder at the same fucking time. Or you can't be a communist and be fighting over toilet paper in an aisle. Because in all technicality, if you really want to be a communist, you believe in equal distribution.
Share together, brother.
You just fucking hit the nail on the head right there. I got nothing else to say to that shit.
It's just facts. That's what you believe in.
It's just facts.
You believe in equal distribution. You believe in taking all this stuff from one person and distributing it out evenly. That's what it is.
And 6 feet away from each other, and take your share and move on.
That's a basic part of communism, and I think that most millennials will overcomplicate it. Like I said, with the believing in statistics, they take the overarching principles of communism and they embody that, and they don't think about the basic things, which is like, in order to establish a communist government, you need
the sad part about that is they want communism
doctrine.
Yeah, the sad part about that, they want this communism, but the fact of the matter is they're selfish as fuck yourselves.
Thing is,
being selfish as fuck yourself.
They're not going to get past themselves in order to get that communism.
Yeah, they're not.
And choose the things that they like, and they try to. Basically, they pick up things and choose the things they like, regardless of what other people like. They try to enact what they like in a book. Like, they will literally take a book, or take a paragraph, or a whole, or a few paragraphs, pick and choose certain things that they like. That does not hurt their feelings, and then post it to you. That is their facts. That is their statistics.
That is what statistics are nowadays. Yeah.
See, there's lies.
That is their reality. That is their brain. They're picking and choosing the things they like about communism, and they're trying to give you some sort of statistic.
Yeah, they can choose what they don't like about fascism, but they live at their base level. What they do is they act very fascistic. Like, if you think about it, that whole censoring thing that we got going on now.
Yeah,
and I'm sure all of us have suffered from it.
I was mad when I saw an old sci-fi movie. Like, really? Really censoring that?
What movie is that?
And that's, it was like, oh damn! It was like literally fucking Flash Gordon type, like the original Flash Gordon,
Flash Gordon, direct, okay.
like original Incredible Hulk, Bruce Banner, original 19-something Bruce Banner type stuff, like where it was like you just paint somebody green and paint a big bodybuilder green and hope for the best type deal. It's one of those deals.
Interesting.
But I was watching something there where, where if you want to get a real blockbuster, if you want to get an American blockbuster to get around the world, it has to go through the CCP over in China and shit. And they've many of these major companies have signed a fucking deal to do it. And I've seen this documentary outlining this, and I was like, I wouldn't be fucking, you know what? This makes a lot of sense because, they've put in a lot of Asian superstars. Not that it's, I'm not saying that that's wrong or not, nothing, but they cameo a lot of Chinese actors and actresses in order for it to go over well in another country. Or that one shit where Brad Pitt, all because of one role in a movie, he wasn't able to go to China in 20 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or funny? How the Joker blew up is because they're, not only is it a Warner Brothers picture, but it's also a Legendary Pictures deal also. And that's one company that is in cahoots with China. And the reason being that we didn't get a lot of, that it was able to play well in China. Well, no, it didn't play well in China because it showed rebellion at the end. And this was the fucking Hong Kong thing. So, yeah, they had to take out a few scenes and shit.
Basically, if civilization is one body, China are the eyes, the rest of the world is the gut, and America is the asshole.
That's actually sad.
Psychesoap you're right. Exactly what you said, though. But guess what? The Chinese piece is drying up. I'll tell you why. they have been building in droves. Look it up. You can look it up online, wherever. Clone cities that look like cities around the world. Like, take, for instance, Paris, places in Texas.
New York.
In New York, exactly. All over those, and all those structures.
Got towers there.
Yeah. They've built it in a way that it looks just like those real places. And then here's what's going on now. Now, people in China, instead of spending their money and going abroad and traveling all these different places, because that's where we used to get our money, is tourists from China and stuff like that, right? So now, instead of going abroad, they're just going in mainland China to these different places where they're not being made fun of or taken advantage of and shit like that, and the money stays within their country.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it.
That is the best way to do it. Well, yeah, America trolls China all the time by just being like, "Oh, you're Chinese," and they're like, "Oh, you guys are all fat."
Okay. But where did the art of war come from, guys?
True.
Where did the art of war come from?
China.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're not a paper tiger. They're a sleeping fucking giant. Be careful with those people.
Yeah, the sad part about that, I heard a lot of people always talk shit on China, or always say, well, China this, or they're going to go broke. The difference between China and America is America doesn't have a long-term goal. America just kicks shit down the road.
All talk.
We just kick shit down the road so we can vote. We basically vote for it to vote for it later. To vote for it again later again. China basically has a long, drawn-out plan for the most part. We don't have that. We haven't had that since when? When's the last time we actually had a long, drawn-out plan?
The World War. The World Wars. Yeah.
The World Wars. Now, we didn't even have a long, drawn-out plan for that either. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, not even after that.
So think about that.
Probably before the Civil War.
Yeah, I would say before the Civil War.
A little after. I would say a little after the Civil War.
No, I would say the last time that America had a long view was before the founding fathers. That's the only time we had a long view.
That's pretty much it. Yes, right there. And even then, it was bad because they were taking advantage of the Native Americans.
The sad part about that is everything after that Revolutionary War, everything after that was pretty much short term or selfishness.
Yeah, and we don't even have, you can even say that Native Americans had some pragmatic doctrine that blended into American society, but we got our pragmatism from the UK, from being a part of the British Empire. So we basically, the only reason why we were flexible is because we had to answer to somebody. We were employed, we had to be basically yes, Mr. Yes, sir, to an empire, an empirical power. Mm-hmm. But I mean, if you are the kind of stair step from the kind of stair step evolution side of the spectrum, like China, I mean, it just doesn't, the way that they developed gradually over time, like Double I said, there's a reason why there's just so many of them on the planet, There's just
something I have to add before we continue, because I hear this shit too much and it sounds fucking stupid to me. All the people in Texas, your state cannot secede. It can break up into 5 states. That's fucking it. That's not seceding from the United States. So I'm gonna need y'all to shut the fuck up on seceding from the United States. Y'all can break up into multiple states, but y'all can't secede. There's a big fucking difference.
I have my own planetary
difference.
Big fucking difference. Get that through y'all heads. You can't secede. You can break up.
Republic this, Republic
I think
that.
If any state's gonna break up or do that or secede from the states, it's probably going to be California first.
Cali. And that's due to the San Andreas fault. Then that's due to the San Andreas fault.
Yeah, I'm probably the first state to go for real. And it won't be by choice. It would be by natural disaster.
Yeah.
I'm going to planet Mars.
Oh, shit.
Okay, Elon Musk.
All you have to do is go over to Elon Musk's factory and start sucking giga dick.
Yeah, but half of that. Remember, Double I. Half of that factory is given to Amber Heard. Okay, because
right.
Oh,
you might have to. Might have to eat Gigapuss.
She's gonna have to get that factory during.
They're not dating.
Yeah, they broke
not
up.
anymore. They were
Yeah, they're
Russian
not
though.
dating. She's dating. She's a lesbian now again. Conveniently.
Oh, she's a lesbian now again.
Convenient.
Yeah.
Wow,
Convenient.
look at all those
how
qualifiers. Now again. Wow, that's just amazing.
Conveniently again.
Found well.
Right. Boo hoo hoo. My lesbianism must be revisited.
Wow. Wow. I look at shit to Obi-Wan. Like,
Yeah, well, it's like only another woman could treat her right.
yeah, but basically, I was looking at Shinobi 1, like when Tico Trent's stream has more truth, facts, and knowledge and wisdom than a school does in an entire year.
Damn.
An entire 4-year term. 4-year graduation.
Right.
Graduating class.
That's a fucking shame. That's a fucking shame that a live stream that there's gonna be kids tuning into this live stream.
I don't know about that now. I hope not, because YouTube would be in trouble.
I mean, on the replay.
Don't listen to us, kids. Do not listen to us. We know what we're talking about.
Psychesoap says I gotta get the
Kids, don't try this at
ride.
home. Kids, do not try this at home.
Do not try this at home.
Don't do this
Please.
at home, kids.
Please consult your blue-pilled father first.
Yeah, but it's been bad.
Consult.
AKA your single mom.
Right?
Said what?
Because she's going to have to help you. She's going to have to help you and keep you away from cemeteries, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she isn't hoarding
Apparently.
toilet paper.
Apparently.
Stop it.
Don't forget to bow down and worship and present offering.
And if you're
back to the topic.
and if you're lucky, Mama will love you in ways you've never loved before.
Yeah, we're getting
Mama
too
gonna
far
take your
off.
Roni.
No.
Yeah, it's true.
You're not doing that. That went a little too far by my standards. That went too far by my standards. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Pretty crazy.
I just wanted to see if I could break another rule.
I told you to stop already. Like you weren't breaking shit.
Damn it.
I got about an hour before my alarm clock goes off, and I'm gotta at least try to get some sort of nap. The nap,
Seriously,
Well, down, Negro.
alarm goes off as I hear birds in the background chirping.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you.
You should change your name. I should get some sleep.
Wow,
You should change your name to.
You're like the perfect spot to take a nap. Birds chirping in the background.
Change your name to MiGTOW in the sleeper berth.
Sleeper berth.
Yes. Change your name to MiGTOW doing the 34.
I wish I was doing the 34 truck. Because, I literally just got my truck out the shop, so I wouldn't be able to get the sleeper berth. So I had to take naps with a really hyperactive dog.
Yeah.
Damn, he's just barking at everything. You're like, I'm trying to sleep, goddammit.
Barking, like literally. I mean, I had to go to the driver's lounge and hope I get some sleep.
That's
you need Milo at when you went to the driver's lodge. In the truck.
I told him that to sit down, and I put the dog whistle out.
Say, Psychesoap.
Yep.
My brother, have you seen the movie called Departures? It's a Japanese movie.
Is that the one with the airplane?
It's not actually. It's a guy about a guy who plays the violin for the Japanese orchestra, and like the Japanese orchestra disbands. It's a 2008 film, so it's kind of like it was like it came out the year that. Like,
I've seen that one.
So what it's about is it's like he spends all his money on the cello, and then the orchestra disbands.
That's the only reason why I watched it, because he played a cello.
And then so because the orchestra disbands, like him and his wife are like, what do I do for work? Like the Japanese orchestra is disbanded, and he has to go become a mortician, and like he has to go prepare dead bodies and stuff, and like he prepare them in the Japanese like Shinto way, like the spiritual way, so that they can carry on into the afterlife and their family can pay their respects. And
but he's just shamed by his community. Everybody, his girlfriend, they're just like, how, like, get a real occupation, get a real job. And he has to learn, the hard way that despite his needing to make a living, it's like people won't accept him unless he has like a more upstanding job and stuff. Meanwhile, he's learning a trade, or he's learning a practice where like you pay your respects to the dead. And it's like it was an amazing movie, and it would be on my island list. If I had to bring something along, I would want to watch that movie just to remind me of what being MiGTOW has been like, and what being like Red Pill has been like all this time. Because, like you said, like, we are counterculture, and despite what people who are vegan and have their head shaved and dye pink, there's a filter now on Snapchat that can just dye your hair for you. It like dyes it yellow or dyes it green,
Yeah, there
like
is.
lime, like neon.
My daughter was showing me.
Yeah, she was like, "Look, yeah, exactly. My family member is the same. They're like, oh, look, your hair is cool color now."
Yeah, filters
are
like the new makeup now. Filters are like the new makeup for social media.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, you see Lone Wolf 87, that one girl who was like, "Oh, I love black guys," and then she was like showing pictures, and then she had her filter on and stuff. She was like, "Oh my god, the black guys' lips are you guys are so sweet."
I love his channel. He's funny.
He's funny as hell.
He's so funny, dude. And that's right, Chronicle. That's what it is now. There's no makeup anymore. Who needs makeup when you have a computer chip that do all the work for you?
Yep.
And
iPhones do it for you already by itself.
You know what'd be fucked up, man, is if they had a blackface filter, and they probably do. That would be some.
They do.
Somebody probably got it and they're ready to go. They're probably ready to go with it. I'm sorry, but it's probably happening. This is probably why the union. This is probably why Union University want to be able to identify as black.
White
women want to be able to identify as black in Union University.
Just like they say when you go to apply for patents, most people say, "Well, what have you thought of that no one else has already thought of already?" Right?
Blackface filter.
These things are already done.
Yeah, these things are already thought of.
They just don't release them because they have a smidge of morality, I guess.
Yeah. Can you imagine if iPhone released that next year? Can you imagine the backlash they would get?
Man,
can you imagine how many white women?
It would be one.
Can you imagine how many SJWs? Can you imagine how many white women that want to identify as black would go
on iPhone? The most pissed off. You see that shit?
Or like an almond eye filter. Like if it turns your eyes.
The sad part about that is when that happens, black people are at least pissed off about it than white people are.
See? Exactly.
And that's the sad part. Like, bitch, how you mad about this? I should be mad about this. Like,
you're the most protected class in this fucking country.
I'm mad for you. I'm mad for you.
You don't speak for me. Just like who tried to do for me by calling me a house Negro.
That's what they.
We're part of the group.
Switching subjects, like just like slightly. It's like when I would date interracially, like I would always have that that good old Uncle Tom viewpoint, and then my exes would always just be like, "Oh, you're just not, you're not able to get voter ID because you don't have access to the same facilities that rich white people have." I was like, I have access to those facilities, but then but what about abortions are negatively affect black women? I said, well, I don't just go around having sex with anybody randomly and not expect not to pay for it. They're like, but what about people being incarcerated in a different way? I'm like, are you basing that off experience or based off statistics you've read? Because if you read the statistics, you know that they're just like, they're lies, and they're just like, you need help.
Yes, there is a racial disparity, but there's more of a gender disparity than anything.
Yeah, there's more of a gender disparity than there is a racial disparity.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I can still get arrested, but I'm not getting arrested at the rate. I'm not getting arrested at the rate that white women get off of crimes and shit. Though
I was like, if you really think that my polite is something, and you're a white woman, if you really think my plight is that bad, you should go and commit a crime and be incarcerated to balance out the statistics a little bit more. That's how you can fix. That's how you can fix.
If you want to help me, go do this.
Go run some money for me, or do go sell some drugs for me, and then if I get caught, then I'm gonna blame you, okay? And you're gonna take the fall because you
take one
support
for Mati.
Black businesses. That's exactly how this is gonna go down. And when I tell them that,
you should know,
they don't really know what to.
Have a good
they
one.
don't really know what to say. So
crazy as fuck, man. Like, like you don't speak for a group of people. I mean, like, I can't front hard and speak like, I'm LGBTQ plus 40, and I don't. You know what I'm saying? Straight as a motherfucking arrow. Can never be. You know what I'm saying?
I would say I'm masculine, trans presenting, lesbian, woman, midget.
Yeah, you can do that.
Somebody gives me an opportunity.
You can do that.
Wow. And I identify as underage. And I identify as living
you
in
can
Florida.
identify as underage?
I identify as underage, and I identify as living in.
Yeah, you can actually identify as younger than what you are.
I identify as living in a state that has less stringent gun laws, and I identify as having a permit in that state. And you can't affect my feelings with facts because you can't tell me who I am. I'm strong and independent.
Man,
I'm sorry. That's way too damn complicated. I'm with Auburn and preach on this. I'm a cisgender nigga.
What up, cisgender nigga?
Yeah, man.
For the longest time, I thought that True Sherm was ABBA because I had never seen True Sherm, but because they talk like the way they talk sometimes, it just like they seem kind of similar. So I just I never know what he looked like, so I just pictured ABBA talking whenever True Sherm would talk.
That's I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see that.
But yeah. No, but then I went over to True Sherm's channel and I realized, True Sherm is completely different than ABBA. Yeah.
Yeah. He actually has his facial. He actually has his face up. He actually has his face on. He actually has his face on his one channel. He transfixed it on a wrestler on his one channel.
Yeah, I mean, shit, he shows his face almost all the time.
I mean, he shows his face quite often, so it's one of those things where it's not. He's not nothing. He doesn't hide too much.
Yeah, I'm a hider.
Man, I just hope that because that's what I saw in
better than being
education as an institution was that kind of when I went to high school, it's my high school years were the best years that my high school ever had since. And it's my college years were terrible compared to the years 10 years prior at that college. And
you want to know the funny thing about this?
What is the red pill going to be after these people leave it? It's going to be destitute. There's going to be baby mamas preaching red pill. There's going to be freaking
tumbleweeds in the fucking halls and shit.
That's why you're walking away.
I just realized something. Out of everybody on all 6 of the people that were in this stream, Psychesoap's the only one that's never showed his face. Or Psychesoap's the only one whose face I've never seen. Out of all 6 people in this stream, Psychesoap's the only person's face I've never seen.
You're seeing it right now. I got this fucking hockey mask on.
No, you ain't. No, it's not your damn face.
Where's my face?
I thought that was Lil Wayne in the picture for Psychesoap. I thought that was Lil Wayne for a second.
That's his uncle.
I hate to spoil it for you, but I'm pretty sure there's a live stream where he shows his face. I'm not gonna say where though. Because I don't know. I forgot.
There probably was one where
I forgot. But there's
no True Sherm. No, I mean Psychesoap never showed his face though.
I have though. I probably didn't even know it.
Probably a long time ago before I came to the English manosphere. Probably then, but I niggas never seen your face.
The StreamYard, it kind of sometimes the video cuts on, on and off. and then you like see something that, and then like a split second, and then that's.
Well, the thing about the StreamYard thing is like usually before that happens, I'll let somebody sort that out before I actually bring it from backstage. So I usually let people sort that out before they get up here.
Yeah.
Wait, man, I'm pissing.
Yeah, I'm at a point, man. Yeah, I'm at a point, man, where I'll just be not showing my face anymore.
Well, I still show I don't really show my face as often anymore because I don't really have the time to actually sit down and make videos anymore I
just show my face in a video, and I just showed my face in a video today. I just uploaded.
Yeah,
today.
but like I don't really have the time to actually make the videos where I show my face because I'm literally on the go all the damn time, so I can't really sit down and actually do the videos I used to do. And I really like doing the videos I used to do because I gotten used to it after a while. But now I'm doing this now.
That's why it's so easy. That's why it's so easy for me to upload because it's like. I don't get any resistance when I go my usual format. So then I just like hit go. I can pound it out. Only thing is that like I just got to remember how I started it, and then like I got to let other content creators do their thing. And then even though I have like this gift of being able to make a character or impersonate somebody, like I got to remember that that's not only what defines me, and I can actually be more flexible and speak my truth to a form and actually like do a video that has nothing to do with the Tico sphere, but it builds off of the ideas of other content creators, and I participate more in the community as opposed to just being like just the guy that does impersonations of people, that nobody really knows, and then stuff like that. Because when you look at my content, it's in the past, it's kind of like oh, you can tell who I was watching,
Yeah.
And so like I want to be respectful true to that, but I also know it's like that's what you guys made the videos for me to watch them. So that's what I did. I watched them, and then if you were easy to impersonate, it's kind of like I'd just be going in my normal day and just be like Black Round 313 back at it, and then that thing. Or I would just be like just a book about running me, homie, or like I'd just be like just in my normal day and be like. Rom Wales, the sexual underworld. A lot of players, they go after the big, strong jawline, nigga, or like something like that, and then I would just I just emulate it, and it was fun. It was fun when I was learning it, or like a lot of folks on YouTube, like.
Oh wow, I know who that is.
They got the creepy mouthpiece, and this one girl, she was looking real teethy,
What the fuck?
I'm not sure if anybody wants to throw up an objection to this, but I'd say you're probably the MiGTOW comedian. I'm gonna dub you the MiGTOW funny man.
Or the red it's weird because Double I, you know me in real life.
Which one you talking about? Which one you talking about?
Well, you say I know you in real life. That's a little scary. But, hold on. That's a little scary. Because I just saw you butcher with a fucking machete 47 motherfuckers inside of a pit game. Okay, so it was virtual, it was online, but I just saw you butcher 48 motherfuckers inside of a pit in a fight. With a machete.
That's not true.
So I don't really know you, and you're over here. You're over here talking all nice and sweet and everything.
I used the shockwave to butcher 40.
Nikki's in the chat.
I used the shockwave to butcher 45,
sound off, Nikki.
And then I got
him, right?
into the cage.
You saw him jump in,
and then killed, and then I butchered the last two.
Man, stand back from this kid. That's all I'm saying.
What I'm trying to say is, in real life, I'm just like this straight man. I do crack. People laugh at my personality, but I'm not the first to crack the joke. I set
all
people
jokes
up
aside,
so that I set people up to be
straight
funny. Man. I'm the straight guy out of the bunch, and it's like that's why people pick on me. But it's like because like I don't really
hang with you because I guess I'd be considered the gay man out of the bunch.
No, I don't mean to. I'm the straight trans man.
Might wake up with a guy on some new shit.
Man, you guys are
Listen,
man. You guys are making me.
Tico. Long as you don't do any more videos in front of the fucking bathroom mirror like that again, we're good.
Bathroom mirror. I never did a video in front of a bathroom mirror. What the fuck?
I'm not even going to tell you. I'm not even. We're just going to leave it alone.
Lie on that one. You just
Don't
goddamn lie on that.
3 times in that bathroom mirror, man.
I've never did
you guys
I've
gonna
never
have
did
to
a
make
video
me
in
get
the
a
bathroom.
charger? Are we staying on? We're staying on. We're staying on.
That image was burned in my fucking
It
head
was
for
not
2
burned to
weeks.
your. Whatever. I never did a video.
I will unsub to your channel. I swear to God.
Whatever. I've never did a bathroom video. You're a hot mess for that shit. I've never did a bathroom video. I know.
And then I'll have to get Yam to tell me what's going on.
Yeah, guys. Yeah, guys.
Wow, really, dude? Sickening.
Hey, so man, AJ, question for you, man.
What's up?
Yeah, I got a few before you leave. Because you sound like you want to leave, but I got a few questions for you, AJ. But Psychesoap, you first, brother.
Do you own a gym? Because it was like you did a live stream, and was there some training benches or something?
It comes with him. Yeah, it comes with in my place. It comes with it downstairs, so I go there. But they close it down now in part of our community, so I just work out outdoors. Yeah.
That's the rumor. AJ owns a gym.
Yeah. Those gym only motherfuckers. Yeah.
Get some yoga going in there. Do some yoga, AJ. Get some yoga going on, brother.
That's probably the worst part because that's when I get stalked doing that.
Do you really?
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm like, can you show me how to do this?
Can you show me how to do that?
Yeah.
Help me bend.
Nope. COVID. Bye, Roni.
Yeah, they got all sorts of fantasies on their head when they ask me those questions.
Yo, I got mad stalkers, dude. In real life, women just stare at me like they stare at me with like such an intensity that like I know that if they saw me in a dark alley, I probably wouldn't be on the live stream, guys. I just had to be honest. They were like I literally get not like people coming to the house or anything, but when I'm out in public, I will glance over and I will notice somebody just like staring at me so freaking hard that like when I look back at them, like their brain like short circuits. They're like, what? Oh no, I'm just picking my nose. I'm not even doing. I'm just digging in my butt. I'm not actually looking at you.
Not dropping your email under all your videos and having people email you the craziest shit.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Because like, if I were actually to be like, oh yeah, do this, that, like, I'm sure I would get crazy stuff.
I got a matter of fact, I have an image of a girl that has my picture in the middle of a thing with a pentagram and like a lot of crazy shit going on there. That sent me a picture.
Oh shit!
Trying to teach.
Yeah, like that's why I learned.
What's wrong with you?
I learned not to open up certain lines of communication for that exact reason.
One of my videos when I was wearing my with this freaky jersey tail, my Kangle, even though it's not a Kangle. Yeah, but like she had that and she had a picture of that. She screenshotted that and put it up and put it in the middle of Instagram. And there's like candles.
That's some crazy Roni.
Oh yeah, there's some candles.
Dude, that's Roni.
That's crazy Roni right there.
Roni life.
Roni on the crazy.
Yeah, that's like that, man.
SUPER.
Yeah, what other questions you want to ask me? Psychesoap? You say you want to ask me another question.
I did. I'm done. You answered it.
So I got a couple of questions for you, bud.
Okay, sweet, no problem.
All right, so you did a walk. I think it was the last live stream you had.
Yeah,
it was in Pennsylvania or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, the walk and talk, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, this. First of all, where can you walk around like that as a black person? and not get shot.
And the next day,
in Pennsylvania. Please,
well, the thing is,
no, you don't have to give away your location or nothing like that. I'm just saying.
Well, the funny thing is, I dress up in such a way that I look like I'm very approachable. So I dress up in like I just came off the shower. I have a shower curtain and some glasses, and they look like I'm at home. And I'm just talking on the phone. So they treat me like a neighbor. Be like, "Hey, how you doing?"
So there's preparation in your exit to the real world, and in that preparation is in a sense a disguise in a way that will not get the reaction that they would normally give.
Exactly. Yeah. Totally.
So you're in a sense. In a sense, you're monking in plain sight.
Yeah, pretty much.
Very nice.
And AJ, which
brilliant.
Funny because like AJ is more approachable than I am in public.
In public, like approachable than me. Shit.
Attitude all the fucking time. Fuck him. And you literally will walk the other way like I ain't gonna ask him shit. Fuck him. And you walk the other way from me.
Why you say that, Tico?
I literally look like a black Putin for the most part. I always look like I have that sourpuss on my face and shit. Like I literally look like I always have that sourpuss look on my face. So like
that's literally why I'm ready to reach for a gun.
Yeah,
or machete.
Yeah, I'm
dude. He's got machetes every fucking where. I don't even know how to begin.
I only have 3 in my car. Only 3.
You were late to the live stream.
We're not going to get into this right now.
You must be a chef. You must be a chef, Tico. With all that
texting me too much. You out of my life now.
Yeah, we'll call myself a chef. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a chef.
I can play some shit.
Black Putin.
Yeah, I always have that sourpuss look on my face. All the
like
time.
a butcher.
Like I never smile. I never laugh in public.
I try to do that. I try to do what Tico does, and it just. I try to do what Tico does, and it just gives girls like the butterflies in their stomach like they still approach me, but they're like, notice me, senpai. And I'll be like, that's not what I was trying to do. I was trying to get you to leave me the fuck alone. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about it, but it's like I try to just like only have a scowl, like, and then they're like, oh, or they try to talk to somebody next to me. I hate that, dude. I hate when that happens. Like,
you know what? The funny thing about me that people don't know, I actually smile more in my videos than I smile in real life.
That's funny because you literally only will smile because this is the thing. What happened would be like Tico would be like, but the thing that I really find funny is,
and the thing about it is,
split second.
Let that swirl around.
You smile for a freaking split second.
Yeah, because I don't smile in person too often for the most part. Like I'm very straight faced for the most part, but I'm not mad at anybody. I'm just a very straight faced person, and that blows people's mind when they meet me. Like MiGTOW on the win. Like when he met me, he goes, "Well, you don't smile as much as you do in your videos, do you?" I go, "No, that's only in video." And like my children even tell you, he's a monster. He's a monster.
You know how most of us are born crying? Tico was born angry.
For the most part, yeah. I wasn't born angry.
Yes, you were.
I wasn't born angry.
You were an angry kid.
I was born very even killed.
Yeah. In my case, I
that angry baby that hung out with Maggie. Yeah.
No, he didn't.
I got a few more questions for AJ.
Tell us what the sad part about that was.
In your case, what you were about to say, AJ? In your case?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
So I got a few more questions for AJ. You know, because it's not every day we get to question AJ
here. No problem.
All right, so welcome to the Yams Corner, because today is Yams Corner. But we all kind of give give questions, right? So what are the next steps for your show, AJ?
Oh, like the next
Where do you see your show going? Yeah. No, not next video, but where do you see your show going in general?
Well, I'm the kind of person where just like I record random videos of choosing signals that I'm getting, I just want to make a video and just laugh it off as I'm getting older and be like, this is pathetic.
Yeah, but obviously your videos have changed from when you first started to where you are right now. So obviously you have a succession or you have a change plan. You're not the same. Things have changed you along the way. Number one, tell me what has changed and why you've changed your modus apparatus, first of all. And then in your change, what do you see that has changed for the better? And how do you see yourself progressing even further?
Oh, the change. Oh, good. That's a good question. Maybe it could be little things like such as me being active, working out, going out more. So I just like treat it as like a documentary, so to speak, in my videos.
Mm.
Yeah, like a documentary.
Good way to go.
Yeah, so I can look back at my videos and be like, "Oh man, in my old video, I was this guy, but then in this video, it's like this is hilarious how I change." You know.
So in a sense, you use your videos to
Self-reflect,
document,
like a self-reflect.
self-reflect. Yeah. It's almost like a live diary that you share with the world.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Nice. Well, thank you for sharing that diary, because I do watch you every once in a while, and I think you offer good content.
Oh, appreciate it. Thank you.
That's all the questions I have.
Something I find funny is how
you know what, Yam? Keep it up. Keep it up.
I'm being honest. I'm not even trying to be like you. I'm not even trying to be that. The sad part about that is I'm not even trying to be like you.
I didn't think he was either, Tico. I think he was just being Yam.
I thought he was being sarcastic. I'm like, y'all know what with these damn catchphrases.
But the Instagram thought, or like the people on Facebook, when I was growing up, where they're like, no new friends. I'm sick of fake people, and I'm breaking away, and I just want to do my own thing because people suck, and like I wonder if they ever look back on those posts and was like, if I wasn't the dumbest motherfucker,
right?
that ever fucking walked the face of the earth, why did I post that dumb shit online? And that's what I think every time I upload a video, but I think about it in the positive way. Like I think about like I say the dumbest, most like sometimes like the most racist, sexist stuff that I possibly can think of in the moment.
Yeah.
But like I don't knock myself for it. It's just like how I was thinking in the moment, and then like I look back, I listen back, and I laugh. It's just that the level of shaming and the level of like public thing, you got to be able to just, and the guilt and things like that of like, you just got to be able to get rid of that, and then knowing that I have this stuff on the internet to stay, it's kind of like peace of mind, like I had these thoughts even way back. So anything I run into now, why should it fade? Why should it affect me? Like any of this Roni, why should it affect me? I was like this years before this stuff happened.
Yeah, I can relate because I was like that too. I look back at my past, even my past videos, I was like, man, I changed a lot.
Really.
I used to be crazy. I used to be really crazy in my old videos.
I'm pretty much still the same for the most part. Granted, I don't do face. I don't really do the. I do the camera ones every now and again, but I'm pretty much the same from start to finish for the most part. I still get. You'll still hear me get angry in some of my videos like I used to, but I don't really show my face as often anymore as I used to. But it's the same Tico.
Same. Yeah, same.
It's the same Tico through and through for the most part. Like you'll get like a thoughtful Tico, then you'll get like an agitated Tico, then you'll get like a savage
Tico. One thing I noticed is like you always respect people's like personal information identity, but like with those Facebook videos or like the social media posts, like do you change the name? You just let those people, you just put those people on blast, don't you? With the like social media posts and stuff, you just basically
actually alter the names on those people. Yeah, even if it's a woman being stupid, I still alter the names on those people. Like
you can't be.
I'm not going to put
shining
them.
that.
Like it's kind of like when I upload it. It's kind of like when It's kind of like when I upload videos and you'll see like an email. I'll usually like cross out like information like the actual email just despite the fact that it's public and if everybody knows about it, I still cross out anyway.
Yeah.
Or like if I upload like a text message that I sent to somebody, I'll cross out their name and their number because I'm disrespectful like that. Because I believe in privacy and my company prides itself on privacy. So why would I disrespect somebody's privacy if my company prides itself on privacy? So
That's
I
very
believe.
stoic.
So I'll do that for anybody, and if I can't do it all the way, I'll basically just alter the names before I upload the video for the most part. I'll just digitally like a lot of times I'll just like reverse, like if I see the name, I have a software where I can like invert the names and make it different. So it'll still be a name of some sort, but it'll be like inverted and it'll be like a first, middle, last name, and it'll be something else totally different. So I can do that too. So it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I respect everybody, even though they don't deserve the respect half the time. Hell, if it was a KKK member, I would respect them too.
Is that like I want to start to do that, but it's like I can, like, people can try to shame and guilt me all they want. That stuff doesn't rub off on me, or that stuff just like falls off my shoulders. But the moment you start shaming or guilting somebody in this society, dude, they want to kill you. They want to skin you alive, and they want to like make you an example of like, don't ever mess with me again. And it's just like I there's so much that's left to be exposed for me in my experience that like I've yeah, that's basically all I gotta say. Like, if
that's
you try to
toxic
shame
nature,
if you try to shame somebody,
toxic nature right there.
They will go to so many lengths in order to change the narrative, as opposed to just letting things play out. And I'm like, you're only making it harder for yourself, babe. You're only making it harder for yourself. Just accept facts the way that it is. You fucked up, I fucked up, or whatever. You know, or like something like just anything that needs to be said. You just gotta accept you gotta accept that there's certain people who are not gonna be able to. You're not gonna be able to sway into your favor, because I have access to them. Basically, like, only people who you can really convince that I'm bad are people who I don't have access to, and then society shames me into not wanting to talk to those people, and it tries to, at least. And that's how men's name and likeness and disposition and everything gets dragged into the mud and abused. Because
like it's kind of like with me when you're talking about, like, the people go, well, Tico's a bad human being. Well, duh, nigga, duh. I never said I wasn't. The fuck is your problem? You just start jumping on the bandwagon now? Like I'm willing to admit my flaws.
You're not a good. You do good stuff because of how much bad shit that you have done.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll tell you that in a heartbeat. I do so much good shit because of all the bad shit that I actually do. And I'll let you know that in a heartbeat. Like, I'm not the greatest person in the world. But if you genuinely need help, then I'll be the greatest person in the world to you. It's like, pick your poison. I can be your worst enemy, or I can be your best friend. It's like you can't have it both ways.
With AJ, with what AJ brought up, it's like there's girls like, oh, I'm just tired of getting my heart broken, and
well, that's not like a personal problem. It sounds like you need to work on yourself.
I'm surprised.
So many people out here just like, I'm sorry for being a victim. It's like, come on. I'm trying to get a point across about what it feels like to be on the opposite end of you. You know, like you get how you want to see yourself all day in the mirror. But then the moment I say something about how you look to me, then I'm an abuser. But you get to think all of these stuff about yourself, that you were a victim of a crime when somebody just, they slapped you a little bit too hard, during the sexy times. Or you get to see yourself as fat and ugly when you like weigh like 110 pounds. But the moment I say something about how you kind of like you spoke a little bit too loud at the party, or you kind of tried to come out of pocket one too many times. Oh, I'm an abusive, manipulative, beta. I'm a freaking, this is the kind of shit that pisses me off.
If I was you, I would start charging them money for therapy. Like, if they ask you questions on how to get away from Tyrone, from the thuggish boyfriends, I'd be like, okay, I can help you with that. That'll be $200 an hour, and we talk about it.
No, because like me personally, whenever a woman starts talking to me, I actually have a time clock, stop clock on my phone that actually start and go, "You're paying me right now, right?" And I literally start the time clock, and she'll go, "Whoa, wait, stop,
I thought we were friends, Tico. You're my friend.
Remember,
$2,700 an hour.
We were friends. We was friends up until you brought the problem to me. The minute you start bringing problems to me, woman, we ain't friends no more. Now I'm your therapist. Exactly. You're paying
just because you're friends with a lawyer doesn't mean they're gonna give you doesn't mean that you can't just ask them for legal advice.
Unless you're sucking that lawyer's dick.
You just happen to be friends with a female dating coach.
Yeah. Just because you're friends with a psychologist, that don't mean I'm gonna give you free psychology.
Exactly.
I'm going to charge you.
Not psychologist. Get the fuck out.
I'm Tico Tren, bitch. I want my money.
Yeah, I want the money. Exactly.
Where's my money?
I got 99 problems in my life. Shoot.
For real. I'm gonna need you to pay me for the rent this one.
No, it's funny too because I kind of fluctuate back and forth. Like when I'm in a certain setting, I'm not going to share. But if a girl wants to be my emotional, tampon, then I will promote her in an instant to that.
Because I don't stick around long enough to really be somebody's tampon, and I don't really because I'm literally out there and
that's a no-go.
You start bringing in feelings.
2013, or I would say since 2013, I stopped being an emotional tampon.
Yeah,
since 2015.
I'm checking. Unless you're a guy going through some shit, if you're a female bringing in feelings, we can't be friends no more for that moment. I'm charging by the hour or the minute. Exactly. Like I've been known to charge women about a minute, every 5 minutes.
Yeah,
it was $10 basically. So I'm not. No.
Yeah. They charge me all the money for listening to their bullcrap. All the money.
I would charge them in a heartbeat, or I'll get up and walk out. Like I was telling you about in the last live stream when I had a suicidal female friend. I literally laid my knife on the counter. I drank my drink and I go, "Don't ever call me again until you sort this shit out." And I walked out.
That's why I really scold to trashing simps because they don't consent to being an emotional tampon half the time. Half the time, the woman
actually they kind of sort of do.
No, they don't because the simps do. But what I'm saying is you don't. You're being a simp is indeterminate because
you're in a fantasy world basically.
Because you
believe that this is going to happen for you.
Your position is compromised, so most people just do what they have to survive. And I get that, but at the same time, I can't. I don't. That doesn't connect for me. Being an emotional tampon.
There's a problem with the simp thing because a lot of the time, simps know they're being simps because they're the ones paying for these women's lifestyle for the most part.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you're not getting anything, if you're not getting equal exchange,
or they're co-signing it by being an emotional tampon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you're not getting an equal exchange, then you're a simp. If the exchange is not equal, you're a simp. I'm sorry, it's savage, but it's true. I'm not finna be in a relationship where where everything's not equal, or I'm not coming out better on. If I'm not going to come out better in something, or we're not coming out equal in something, I'm not participating in this relationship. It's just facts.
Yep.
So I might do shit, but I'm coming out on top or we're coming out equal.
I'll spend a few minutes. I would spend a few minutes with about if she's talking about her how crappy your situation is, because it kind of makes me feel a little bit better. But then at that point I will ghost her, leave, because I know what it's like to be in that position.
Thank you, Janky Show. Thank you, Janky Show.
Never consented.
When you gonna bring your ass in a live stream? I've been sending you links left and right.
No.
What's up, Janky?
Yeah,
What's up, man?
Janky in the house.
Yep. Shit.
But I just don't do it. I can't do it. I refuse to do it unless I'm charging you. I have to come, and this goes for anybody across the board. And I've said this to many people many times. Even hell, a lot of these people on this panel can actually co-sign on this shit. If it doesn't benefit me, or if it's not for a good cause, Tico's not doing it. It's just facts. If it's not for a good cause, or if it doesn't benefit me, I'm not going along with your plan.
Yep. It's time
It
for
is
me.
what it is.
It's time for me to get a career in red pill therapy and charge these.
Yeah. And you know, if people like that's the
Dude,
thing,
that's a legit career.
If the
Yeah, I
divorce
know.
court, if the divorce court and family court is a fake institution, then what's preventing you from using red pill therapy as a legitimate business?
True.
You know, like that's just fact. That's just the way that people operate nowadays. You can't, if they're gonna lie and start to use all these titles and stuff in order to get resources from you, then it's about time to start doing it, operating the other way around.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the great thing is, if they don't take your advice, you still get paid by the hour. Just for
True story. Yeah, for real.
You still
get
get
paid for the shit.
Yeah.
Damn right.
You may not like it, but it's the
therapy.
truth, and you're still got to pay for my therapy.
Yeah, exactly. You still
Respect
get
my
paid.
therapy.
Even if they won't take your advice. Like, for example, they're still stuck with the same people, the same ones that hit them and stuff like that because they like the Jeremy Meeks type. I'm like, okay, you still stuck with the guy, right? Okay, at least I'm getting paid with a smile and still give you the same advice again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can repeat this over and over again. I'm getting paid for this either way, even though you're not really taking it in. It's not going into your thick skull, but
exactly.
You're paying me.
Yeah, like, woman, why are you getting mad that that guy won't go down on you? My name is Psychesoap, not feminine soap. Wash your ass.
Right?
Yeah.
That'll be $250.
Get your ass out.
Tree City. Tree City. See the lady on the way out the door.
The 350, goddamn.
It'd be really funny if you were like, you're like, it just bounces into like the scene, and she's like, I just love him so much, and I could never leave him. And Psychesoap's like, interesting. Well, that about wraps up the time that we have. So you'll be going back to that relationship, of course, because he's controlling you. And meanwhile, buy some of my merch. There's some. I have a mug that says "Leave him."
Donate to a veteran.
I have
subscribe and bang the bell if you liked it so far. But get the fuck out of my face.
Right.
Shit like that,
For real.
God damn it.
Oh yeah, that'd be perfect because then Psychesoap, you could just be like, keep going, keep it going. Keep it going. Tell me something. He's beating you? He's beating you? Okay, keep it going. Keep it going. What else? What else does he do?
That's why I need to get a client like Jerry Meek's wife, the one that they broke up with each other, the billionaire. It's like, if I get her client and she's asking me advice, that's it. Yeah, that's it. I'm rich. Yeah,
that gym
shit, if I get a client like that, I'm gonna be the psychologist of stars. It's like, fuck everybody else.
Exactly.
I'm trying to get this paper.
Rich off another bitch's problem.
You would quit
like
your
a used
YouTube
car
career.
salesman, baby.
I sure enough will. I ain't gonna lie. I would quit in a heartbeat. Like, I ain't got time for this. I'll try to upload videos every now and again. And then we'll be back whenever we can.
Yeah. Can you wrap it up? I got Bezos' wife.
I got Bezos' wife on line one.
Come on. Yeah. Come on. Any more topics? I gotta wrap this up. I got
Bill Gates on. I got Linda.
I got Elon Musk.
On line
I got Elon Musk wife. I got Amber Heard right now on the line. Amber Heard's trying to tell me something. I gotta charge her.
Right,
but you have to give her a discount because her funds have been liquidated. Because
she charge full price. No, I don't get no discounts to women. I'll give a discount to a man, but I ain't get no discount to no woman. She got to pay full price.
No, yeah, full
red
price.
Pill discount. Boom. Got it.
Yeah, red pill discount, men only.
Yeah, I would give.
Yeah, I've been giving red pill I've been giving my information free for certain people. I'm not like giving it away for free, like completely.
You're giving people red pill credit cards. What's wrong with you?
Right?
Yeah. Red pill credit. Establish a red pill credit. But I got a high interest rate credit. Just be sure. And later down the line, knock on that door. And be like,
I don't care if she's a 9 or a 10 or look like the most beautiful ever. I'm charging them money. I don't.
I charge the cartel princess when she comes to me with problems.
I'll charge Queen Elizabeth. I'll charge Queen Elizabeth for price.
Like I charge the cartel princess when she comes to me for problems.
Exactly. Cartel princess. Exactly.
She gets charged too. My grandma gets charged too. Like you got problems now, grandma? Really? Your time starts now. And my grandma literally pays me at the end of the talk. Like she literally goes in her wallet and literally pays me at the end of the talk.
That's a good.
Like,
it's a good format.
Yeah, same with my grandma too. Plus, she'll give me cookies. Like, oh, okay. Would you like cookies?
Yeah.
Would you like some
Trying
cookies?
to give me a fucking
yeah,
Werther's original.
I go,
like,
yeah,
I don't want this shit,
just
Grandma.
because you give me churros, and I love churros, Mama. You're still getting charged for the shit, Mama. She goes, I give you 10 churros and I give you $40. Okay. Make it so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? But yeah, it's just stuff like that. Like, I would charge my daughters. That's why my daughters don't come to me with problems.
So my YouTube channel from now on is Dr. AJ because I'm charging people. Dr. AJ.
Right?
Yeah. Like I'm gonna become the law offices of Yam, Tren, and I. The Yam, Tren, I, and Roni are here. If you or a loved one are the victim of divorce rape or personal threat, call the law of Roni, Yam, and Tren, and I, and get your free discounted full price consultation.
And every January 1st, every motherfucking New Year's Eve, free cab rides to men.
Free cab rides. I like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
To avoid the
law firm.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm a non-attorney spokesperson.
Yeah, I believe I could be richer than Steve Harvey without all this simping thing. All I have to do is just give him a bullshit advice, and I get paid for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you can convince people like a placebo effect, basically, especially when you're doing it. Oh yeah, he's so great. He gave me the best advice I've heard in my life. No, you didn't. No, I didn't. You improved your own damn life.
Common sense advice from your moms.
He tries to be like, he tries to be like, no, you're not crazy. You're not crazy. Your standards aren't too high. You're not bad. You're not ugly. You're not either. He just tells them so many lies straight up. And then he goes like, well, it sounds like he's just not the right guy for you, or you need to change your standards.
Yeah.
It's like, no. You're right. He does get paid. He gets paid a ridiculous amount, though.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a skill that has been refined over decades.
Yeah,
like that's decade-long simping in action right there.
Yeah, that definitely is. That's kind of like lawyering now.
You can also do is matchmaker too. If you have a friend from the hood.
Imagine if Steve Harvey did a complete 180 and just became like a red pill to like if he was on Family Feud and he was like, show me divorce rape, and it was like ding. You're like dun 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. And then it was just like, oh my god, name something that your wife will always accuse you of, but when you walk in the house at 3 a.m. cheating. Name something that name something that grows the longer you're in a marriage. Her waistline. Name something that she will do whenever you come home. Cook. Oh, and then you like go over and it's like 45 points. And then we could do it. We should poll all red pill people in the manosphere and then come up with like a list. And we don't call it Family Feud. We'll call it like
because if we do, we're gonna break up a lot.
It's a genius idea.
It's great. It's a great idea. We just gotta get Steve Harvey in on it.
Steve Harvey, if you're listening,
let's do it.
Let's do it.
Email me at.
I would download Zoom just for that, just so we can have a bunch of random men from the manosphere come in and just yell off random shit.
Like I think we should do it.
Oh my god! I'll get my laptop set up, and as they come on, like we'll just like constantly stream them in and out, and then I'll just be typing down all their responses.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess we give ourselves homework on this forum. We're always giving ourselves homework.
Make it happen, kid.
The $100,000 red pill pyramid. Accusations. Bad sex tape.
Me too.
Things I get me too with.
Me too.
It's a good one.
Name something that RPOS has said in one of his live streams. Tico Tren, yeah, you're a toxic liability. And Richie Williams, yeah. You're a toxic liability. Show me Tico Tren's toxic liability. Bing. Wow. What were the other answers? Bing. And then the crowd's like, Richie Romance. And then it's like, bing. And it's like, hold the line, MiGTOW brothers. And it's like, bing. I just got off work. And it's like, bing. I went for a walk. And it's like, bing. The Rockefellers, the banking industry, the rabbit hole. And then the other one's like, bing. Yeah, and then that would be just so great. That'd be so great. And then we can have actual MiGTOW people with families, and they come on with their ex-wife. No, not that. Their daughters, their sons. You know, it's the father, the daughter, the son,
or
family.
How about we have the MiGTOWs who actually got divorces on one side and their ex-wives on the other side.
And their ex-wives on the
other. now you're just playing with nuclear bombs.
I know, right? Tico Tren always playing nuclear bombs.
That's a war going on. That's a war going on.
And arm everybody with AK-47s while we go through the show.
Like family nukes.
Right?
Nuclear feud.
Yeah, nuclear, definitely.
Are you going to use your nuke to nuke this family?
Well, they wanted the nuclear family.
Right.
They wanted the nuclear family, yeah. Damn.
Word.
Nah, Steve Harvey ain't going to do that shit.
Yeah, his career would be fucked.
Well, he ain't doing shit right now, so it's good. That probably would make his career take off. That nigga at home doing shit.
It'd be like Steve Harvey with a mask, and then the big mustache he draws over the mask.
You notice all the late night funny people and everything. They're just no longer funny. they all.
Jimmy Kimmel's hosting a different show. Like people are switching around doing musical chairs with all the hosting. Like I think somebody from Modern Family is now gonna like host a thing. And
yeah, they're trying hard.
Just put the roots in.
I'm trying to keep up, but it's just
and
like,
we're good.
Yeah,
it's kind of like when I walk into a job and I'm like, "Where's the manager?" Like that's kind of like what I'm doing when I'm watching TV now, because they really they lost that like hypnosis effect where it's like constantly inundated with content. So now it's like they're like, oh, we're just waiting until Netflix runs out, and I've seen people post like, I just finished all of Netflix already, and we're not even like we're not even a month into. Oh, somebody just. Somebody almost got ran over.
Penske truck.
Bitch. Was it a woman? Woman in her yoga pants?
But yeah, if a red pill person wants to be in a relationship, they're gonna have something damn good on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really all I gotta say about that. I promised my friend that this live stream would only be like a few hours, so I hope. I'm getting about ready to go get some food. I don't know how you guys feeling.
Well, AJ's trying to leave. AJ's been trying to leave. We've been holding him for hostage for the last hour and a half now.
Yeah, I got shit to do, man. I gotta get out of here.
I'm just chilling. I'm gonna leave in a few though, but yeah, I'm just chilling.
Yeah, we might as well call it then. If everybody's gonna leave, everybody do their outros then.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go first this time. I'm gonna go first this time.
Go first.
I'm gonna go first this time.
Okay.
So, before I do my outro, though,
okay, now you're cutting up now. You're supposed to go first.
No, real quick.
I'm just messing with you.
My outro is going to be real quick, but just real quick. AJ, thanks for coming on the show. Sure. And as far as your, the idea of potentially helping people or counseling people, if you're really serious about that, I think that's a noble thing to do. My personal self am going through what do you call it, classes to attain a counseling degree.
Ah, nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty good. So outside of that, thank you very much, everyone, for watching. I appreciate you all every time we're on and listening to us, Yam's Corner, and doing our normal show and everything like that. Hopefully, Yam, if you can get that game going, that would be really awesome to do. But outside of that, thank you for listening. See you on the next one.
Definitely. Tomorrow, matter of fact.
Definitely.
Yeah, Duzang is on tomorrow.
Ooh. Oh, nice.
Oh, tomorrow's Friday. Didn't y'all know that? Shit, where the hell y'all been?
Dude, in isolation, all these days just like link together. And
yeah, not for me. I actually know my days. Probably because I travel a lot too, though. But yeah.
Yeah. But as
he's not letting no COVID-19 stop him from traveling.
Sure enough, ain't. Hell no.
Hell no.
Family business need to be taken care of and need to run smoothly.
All right, Psychesoap, let's go, because Chronicles AJ's got ASAP Rocky's ex-girlfriend on the other line. So
right.
See, got ASAP Rocky on the line.
ASAP ex-girlfriend on the line. What? On the line.
And he's about to teach her yoga.
Right.
Nah, Yam's picture looked like he's teaching yoga.
Right.
Kama Sutra, baby. That Kama
Sutra. The least Indian person in here.
Hey, I study with a master yogi, okay? I study with a master yogi.
Yeah.
He did.
Yes.
Just because that's like a white girl saying, "Well, I dated a black guy and I had a child with a black guy." Yeah, this doesn't count, bitch. It doesn't count.
Or like I went to Africa and took a picture with a bunch of Rwandan kids. I can speak on world hunger and genocide.
I can speak on black culture too. No, you can't. I voted for Obama. I can speak on
that
black rights.
Mosquito net head off your head.
Go ahead, AJ. Go ahead on your outro. Sorry.
No, I don't have no outro. I'm just listening, yeah, guys.
All right, you get an outro exemption on this one time. This one time you get the outro exempt. Stamp.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Come up with a fucking outro.
You have to do something.
No. He doesn't get an outro exemption.
Okay,
come up with an outro.
Something. I don't know. Adios, amigos. Stay safe out there. Stay safe from the TikTok thoughts, the Musically thoughts, the StreamYard thoughts, and be safe out there, guys.
Wow.
I'll take it.
What the hell was that? Okay. We'll just take it. We'll take it.
The pitch went up. I like that. That's good. We'll go with that.
We'll go with that. Damn.
I know, right? That was the worst outro I ever heard from AJ ever.
Wasn't that Carlton? Did Carlton
trying to get that West Hollywood
exec? Fucking Carlton, right?
It's like
come on, AJ, one more time, bro. I'm gonna give you one more chance. One more time, please. How soon could you get to LA, second take.
Right, this is no good. The one that says no good. Huh?
No.
What is going on?
I don't know what I tried to say, man.
Just say goodbye. Just say goodbye.
It's like AJ Double I's trying to play Hollywood right now. He's like, we can make that over. We can make that. We could change that. We can see. We can make
you live next to Hollywood. That don't mean you are Hollywood.
We can
okay. All right. Here's my intro. Okay, outro. Okay, here's mine. Okay. All right. Have a good night, guys. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Have a good night.
I'll take it.
There you go. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Go ahead,
I'll accept that.
Ronnie Montana, aka Psychesoap.
Ronnie Montana.
It's too Ronnie Montana. Next week it's Ronnie Hustle. COVID and meditate. No, but share this video to men needing a red pill consultation. I can't say this shit with a straight face. Stop, man. Like this. If you stumbled upon this video, made it this far, subscribe, bang the bell if you want to see us all again. Get to our backup channels, either on BitChute or whatever the fuck you got. And then shit, donate to a veteran that you see, and you better watch that Roni, boy. Better watch that Roni.
Yeah, goodness gracious. Go ahead, Yam. I guess you're.
Take care, man.
You too. I guess you're filling in for MiGTOW and the winner yourself now.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
MiGTOW in the win. I was not at all present in this live stream. I was in the 34, 10-4. Hey, Yam, make sure you're watered. Keep your roots in the ground. Double I. Like I said, this is why you should always use your eye drops. Make sure you put your. Make sure you defog your glasses. Like I said, MiGTOW on the win. Signing out. Tico, Tren. Like I said. Tell the cartel princess I say hi. Okay, and then this is Baron Yam. Oh, is that a fucking Penske truck? Took off my mirror about two times already. MiGTOW on the win signing out. This is Baron Yam. First you get the money, then you get the red pill, and then you get the MiGTOW. Then you get the freedom, boys. Keep that in mind when you are, when you're at work, or when you're in public, or where you're with a person that has just been holding on for way too long. Do not let them rape your time and make you an emotional tampon. Guys, walk away.
Fake Arby's beef.
There's plenty of stuff to do other than simp to women. Stop spending your time listening to them ramble on about nonsense, okay? And if you're going to, set up a line of credit with them so that you can get some sort of money, compensation, okay? And AJ had to go because that girl that hooked up with Michael Strahan needs to figure out why she did that and why she made that mistake. Be good, gentlemen, and go watch that video that I just posted on Baron Yam today. It's hot, all right? Hans Radio Red Pill FM likes the video, so that means you should definitely go watch that video. And subscribe to Tico Tren Red Pill because Duzang is tomorrow, and you're not going to want to miss the next story that he has to tell about dogs. I'm not going to spoil it for you.
Damn.
Wow.
This is your boy Tico Tren, aka the Internal Sadist. Basically, don't waste your time with people who waste your time for the most part. If they're not worth your time, or if they're just doing nothing but like just sucking the time out of you, charge them motherfuckers. Tell them that you put them on the clock and they need to pay this rate. That way they leave you the fuck alone faster.
Cha-ching.
So if you charge a motherfucker, the faster they'll leave you alone. It's just fast.
Keep receipts of text conversations so that you can say, no, you have to leave me alone now. You've already blown up my phone.
Yeah.
Like about this.
Send an invoice.
Mm-hmm. And just stuff like that. So that's all I got. I'm happy serving you guys. I'm happy to do it every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I will continue to do this even through the COVID. And y'all have a blessed night and morning, day, evening, afternoon, wherever it is where you are. Peace.
Bye.